So we'll start off first. Track number 1, Pray You Catch Me. Now Michaela hating this song. Ooh, I'm interested to hear why, but I'll go first. So my thoughts on this, it's a very interesting opener to listen to. I feel like it's very vulnerable and stuff. I can taste the dishonesty, it's all over your breath. And just like it's very emotional piece and stuff. And basically just like, oh, like I know you're cheating and all that stuff. And like I pray that, you know, you catch me catching you in that. So it's a very vulnerable piece. I really like the piano. I like the production all over it. It's a really haunting piece. I love her vocals. I love the production, how everything is set up in the song. I think everything just like really catches in nicely. So I think it sets the tone for what this album is going to be about thematically. You know, with the subject matter and everything about infidelity and everything, and it just there's very suspenseful and haunting moments about it. So I like it as an opener. I do.
So it does need to be the last track on the album. I feel like I like the lyrics and everything. I wish it would have been more upbeat. Like sometimes people do like upbeat or I guess up tempo songs that are about like sad, serious things. Like if she would have made this like a boss bitch kind of song, like I would like it more sound wise, boss bitch song instead of like sad song. But I get it, it's sad. But yeah, it's just not my favorite, and I do skip it. I appreciate it being on the album because it is a piece of her story, and like Beyonce is very much like the type of person that whatever she's going through, she puts it in her music. So I appreciate that she did that, but it's not, you know what I'm saying, it's getting skipped.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. I really like it, but I see your perspective, I will say, and then you can give your thoughts next, Jay.
Right, so we're on the first track?
Yes.
Okay, so my thoughts on the first track. It's a great way to open the album. Well, I don't know if I would say if it's her greatest opener. I don't know if I would say if it's her greatest opener. I do really love the track, and I like how she brings like, you know, introduces a little suspicion, pain, and emotional intimacy that like kind of drives the whole album. Like I love, you know, how it explores like, you know, some of the, you know, dark aspects of marriage and you know how it's not so butterfly and rainbows, you know?
Not Mariah tease.
Exactly. Not the hey, unintentional. Yeah, but a great opener.
All right, Cozy, would you like to go next talking about Pray You Catch Me?
Pray You Catch Me has to be, it's up there for like just album openers, period. Like Pray You Catch Me just, and I love, if you want to talk about just B's discography, period, but that one, it just set the tone. It's about to get into what we about to get into. Like it's literally telling you like what's really about to go on. And I don't know about y'all, but I pray, I don't hope, I don't wish. Don't nobody catch me doing none of that shit. Like, you don't need to catch me doing anything. Like, peeling against the walls, peeking back the door, closing the door secretly. Like, if you catch me, like, But the fact that she really was, like, listening in on, I'm sure she heard several different conversations, several different phone calls, just a lot of shit. And she was actually just listening. And she was just hoping.
I wonder how she found out, now that you say that.
Right. I feel like she was just hoping with all of those times that she, you know, was just listening in and peeking in and peering in. Oh, I just want you to catch me. Like, I really want you to just like find out that I'm finding out what you're doing. Like, so for me, it sits at the top, I'll say, for at least Beyonce's openers. Like, because I love all her openers, but that one right there, yeah. Pray You Catch Me is very haunting. I tell people this all the time. If Lemonade was a genre of movie, it would definitely be horror. Just because every song is just so just daunting and just like you hang on every word and yeah. Let's continue.
Yes. Yes. I love songs that like make you do that where you're just like anticipating what they're going to say next and like you're on the edge of your seat. And I really like, you know, the imagery that she's painting out with this song. I think everything really ties together. So I love your analysis. Guadalupe, any thoughts on the song?
Yeah, I just thought it's a nice intro, and I think it's always it's good to pray on important matters. That's my 2 cents.
Any other thoughts on this song you guys wanted to say, or are we good to move on to the next one?
Next.
Period. All right, now we're going to go on to track number 2. Hold up. How did it come down to this? Scrolling through your call list. Something that I'm missing, maybe my headphones. All right, so my thoughts on this song, a great little moment, and I just really like what she was tapping into with the song. I think the production on here is like really refreshing to listen to, and I really appreciate that about it. I love the lyrics about it as well, and yeah, like just like being aware of like the situation and her saying, what's worse, looking jealous or crazy, talking about being walked all over lately, and like all the other stuff. I'd rather be crazy. So like just like being aware of the situation and stuff, and like the visual for this song I thought was like really great and stuff. So I appreciated that. I appreciated the color palette of it, and just like being honest and saying like, hold up, they don't love you like I love you, and like all this stuff or whatever. Like you're being loyal to all these people, but they don't really care for you like I do. So you're really actually playing yourself. So I liked that aspect about it. It's a really nice piece. I actually enjoy this one.
I love Hold Up. I don't know how high I'd rank it. I probably top 5, top 3. Like I said, with the track list, it always fluctuates. So it's like unless it's like a very like solid top 2, everything always fluctuates. And I love the way that Beyonce delivers in the song. Like she talks about loving her man like physically, emotionally, but also states to let him know, hey, I want to know where your loyalty lies. Like because like I'm loyal as hell to you. I'm dedicated as hell to you. But are you really to me? Like I want to know. And I love the little juxtaposition that's in the song because it's like a light beat, very lighthearted and upbeat like instrumental, but the actual content of the song is very dark and deals with like rage and resentment. It's so interesting because it's like you wouldn't think about it if you didn't like you wouldn't think about it if you didn't listen to the content of the if you didn't like go and
Yeah, like
seek
if
out
you
the
weren't
content.
paying attention to the lyrics, exactly. I love stuff like that, like Breakdown by Mariah. It's kind of similar to that and stuff. It's a smart piece.
Oh, that is such a good comparison.
For me personally, I love Hold Up. I feel like it serves like a lot of praise. It blew up when it first came out, and now it's kind of quiet for which I don't understand. I feel like I wanted Pretty to Catch Me or whatever to sound similar, like an in between like Hold Up and then her herself like powerful vocals. But yeah, Hold Up is great. The production is great. And like y'all said, like Hold Up, they don't love like I love you. Like even fine, let's start there. Fuck love. How about like attractiveness? Like Jay-Z is not that hot. Like how dare he even think to cheat on Beyonce? It's crazy. But like when you're famous,
Truly, truly.
he's not ugly.
Are you driving somewhere with bad reception? Because you cutting out crazy. Like we hear bits and then it cuts out. Okay, I think she's coming back. I'll have Daniel next. Unless you want to go first, Cozy. Then we can have you and then Daniel.
I love Hold Up. I love the fact that we got something different from Pray You Catch Me because I don't know about y'all, but I thought it was definitely going to be just kind of like, B is one of those who very much, like a fucking avatar. She's very genre bending. The fact that we went from that, just slow, like dreary, like moody song to reggae and just upbeat and just the lyricism in it was just super, super, super important. Like the fact that she was like, let's imagine that you didn't come out these streets, like that you didn't have the baddest bitch up in your sheets. Like it just was like, yeah, I'm about to sit here and remember my words. Like I'm the baddest woman in the game. I'm the baddest woman
Period.
you'll ever have that you've ever had. And not only do you need to remember that, I need to make myself remember that. So I thought that paired along with the visual was just, yeah. Yeah, her was smashing shit. I'm like, this girl is crazy. Crazy in love with this motherfucker. Yeah, I loved it.
Yes, I love your analysis of this, and you bring up so many good points. Next up, we'll have Daniel.
Okay, so I wasn't here for the start of it, so can I talk about Pray Catch Me and like Hold Up as well?
Yes, yes, of
Okay, thanks.
course.
So, Pray Catch Me. I've never heard like a beautiful opening track in all my life. I love it so much. I love the vocals. I love the lyrics. Everything about it. It's just I don't know. It's just a very honest track from B that I don't feel like we get all the time, and I feel like she really pours her heart into it. And then she goes into Hold Up, and as Cozy said, the reggae influences are so good. And the video is definitely like my favorite part about it. I remember when the song came out, like this was the first song from Lemonade where I was so addicted to it. Like me and my sisters just kept playing it over and over and over and over again. And I love the Stanley Kubrick influences, like from The Shining and whatever. It's like very cinematic. And it's really like this era as well. You can see her grow as like a visual artist in terms of what video she's making and creating, and it's definitely like a step up from self-titled, which was had a lot of had a lot of great visuals, but like this was just on a whole nother level. And yeah, I also love the lyric where she's like, "What's worse, looking jealous or crazy?" Because what really is like the worst between those two? She's going through a lot of emotions on this album, and especially what her husband did. And yeah, I love Hold Up and I love Pray Catch Me. And then as Jay said, like my top five always like I know what my favorite song off the album is, and we'll get to it later. But everything else just always switches, you know. And I tried to rank it a few days ago, and I could not figure out which one to like put. But yeah, I love both of those songs.
Exactly, exactly. Scooter, you want to go next?
You know what? I remember listening to the album, not really giving the album a lot of time, I guess. And so I know the songs that are being played. I just wasn't maybe in my Beyonce feels during this era. So I'm listening to what everybody else is saying, which makes me want to go back and kind of lyrically listen to the words, look at the visual. So if I'm good for now.
Okay, period. Next up, we'll have Guadalupe.
Yeah, so hold up. I thought this came to my mind that sometimes you don't know what you have until it's gone. And then about the music video, I thought that I like the theme of the intro about him with a capital H, and then I also like the juxtaposition of the intro with the video, the rest of the video, which means raising hell. So those are my thoughts.
All right, cool. Any final thoughts on this song, or are we good to move on to the next song at all?
Can y'all hear Hold Up without hearing Countdown right after? Or is that just me?
I never thought of it that way. I might have to listen to those two back to back and see how I feel about it. I've never associated those two songs with each other, so that's interesting food for thought, I'll say.
Mm.
All right, now it looks like we're going to be good to move on to track number 3, which is going to be Don't Hurt Yourself featuring Jack White. Yeah, the previews for these songs are definitely a ride because sometimes it picks better parts of the song to play. So I try to play it to at least where it gets to the chorus or whatever. But yeah, my thoughts on the song. The song grew on me a lot, a lot. I used to not really care for the song too much, if I'm being completely honest about it. But it
What?
has grown on me. Yeah, I just it wasn't my jam. It wasn't. But as I spent more time with this album, as I have with all of Beyonce's discography, truly, it really has been a grower. I love that she was getting into like her rock bag with this, and she's really versatile. I really think that she can sing anything, and we'll kind of talk about that a little bit more later. But I just really love what she was able to tap in with this. I really appreciated the Jack White feature. I thought that fit nicely and stuff. I liked how their voices mesh and stuff like that. And it's like, yeah, if you hurt me, then ultimately you're hurting yourself. Like that message for it, and just really fits in with the narrative of the album as well. I love the lyrics. I love the production. I love how it like progresses and like the verses and stuff. It's a really good piece. I think it's smart the way that it's done, and everything works nicely. So that's my thoughts.
Yeah, and I'm glad that it's grown on you. That's what we call growth, Anastasia. Love to see it on you.
So yeah, I thought this song was genius when I first heard it. It is top 3 on the album, but people don't want to ever experience that or hear that. Rock music is underrated, but people like to overlook it and act like it's not the shit, but it is. Also, the fact that it has a Jack White feature is very like random and cool. I love that there's random people like on Beyonce's album sometimes that you wouldn't expect, and she really goes outside of the lines. Like she doesn't just have a rock song, but she has like an actual rock musician on there, and I just feel like they ate, and her vocals are amazing. It's one of her best vocal performances, but again, people are going to overlook it because it's like a rock song.
Exactly, exactly. And like Beyonce's versatility is so great because she's able to do all these different genres and stuff, but like it all makes sense like when you hear her do it. It doesn't just sound like she's doing it just to do it and it's like a hot mess. Like everything fits together really nicely with the song, and it makes sense in the context of the album with like the rage she's feeling about the infidelity and everything. So it just makes sense on all cylinders and stuff. And I like that you can see her collaborate with someone. You're like, I don't really get like how this is going to sound, but once it comes to fruition, you're like, okay, it makes a lot of sense. So I appreciate that. I think Jay's still working on coming back up, so we'll do Daniel next.
Okay, so as Michaela said, this is one of the best songs off the album by far, by far. And okay, so when this song comes on, I've never once felt a song in my life that takes over my entire body, and like just like I feel the emotion that she feels from the song, all the anger, all the hurt. I'm not even married to Jay-Z, but I feel like he cheated on me in some way. And when this song comes on, like I go fucking nuts. I'm batshit at this point. And when like I scare my sister half the time as well, when I'm like belting out the entire thing, and like she disowns me for the most of the song until it's over because of how frightening I am. But I love the song 100%. This is one of my favorite Beyonce songs. Top 10 for me, honestly, in her entire discography. That might be a reach for some, but this is just, and the homecoming performance. puts it on another level.
Homecoming truly was brilliant and solidified her as one of the best performers of all time.
Right? Like that's an experience. Like if no one has seen it in here, please go and watch it. Your life will be changed. I haven't been the same person since watching it,
You talking about
and that's saying
Homecoming?
something. Yeah.
Yes.
Good as fuck. Oh, that was my oven.
Even the oven knows as much.
Period.
Had to tell them anyway.
All right.
Period. Like the best Coachella performance.
I'm so glad. Like that Coachella performance 8. Like there's no words I could adequately use to describe it. Just legendary and just groundbreaking. But yeah, back to Don't Hurt Yourself. If you don't mind me going there quickly. Yeah, no.
Yeah, of
Thank you.
course.
I just love the rage that Beyonce shows in the song, and like she does it in such a casual way, but like in a way where you still feel like the emotion that she's conveying in the song. Like bro, like don't hurt me because you will hurt yourself in the end.
Bro.
Or like dude or whatever.
The straight coming out in Jay.
He said, I know. He said,
I
bro.
know,
I was
not
like,
the straight coming out in me, the little bit that I do have. I'm just kidding. No, but yeah, no, it's just a nice rage-filled track, and obviously I love a rock Beyonce because why not? Like in addition to being a pop star, why can't she can be a rock star too? Let her have both bags. And honestly, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, for when it's time for Beyonce to be eligible for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nomination, induct her. Because for those that don't know, like you're eligible to get inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame 25 years after your debut album. So for Beyonce, she would be eligible in 2028. Yeah, so that's a little fun tidbit. But yeah, like I'm just
They still need to get Mariah in there. They're playing in her
they're playing
face.
with Mariah
Oh
for
my
real for
god.
not getting her into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But that's for another discussion because what? But yeah, no, Don't Hurt Yourself. Definitely top 3/5. Like I said, rankings always fluctuate, but I love Don't Hurt Yourself. Such a nice, aggressive little track in the best way possible.
Yeah. Next up, I'll have Cozy.
Just to basically piggyback off of what you guys said, like it's always crazy because like like with each album, and I feel like that's with each artist that we especially adore, we're gonna get a ride, and I feel like we're just going on the up and up and up and up and up, and anybody who's felt anger and frustration and just all of those emotions, we're just going up with Beyonce. She went from the Pray You Catch Me to Hold Up, to Don't Hurt Yourself. It's like, oh my gosh, we're kind of almost at that goddamn top part to where you're about to drop off the roller coaster. And it's such a ride after that. Like, Don't Hurt Yourself, like y'all said, Jack White is super dope. There's so many collaborators that I, hope that she, really does work with. If not, like, artists, like, in the front, like, at least in the back, songwriting and production. But this one made so much sense, and just the performances just take it to, they just elevate it all the time with her, and I loved it because she was just talking her shit in this one. Like she was questioning herself at first, but this one was like, you try that shit again, you gonna lose all of this shit. Like
Period.
It was everything, because I don't know about y'all, but I've been waiting for her to just chop all that goddamn hair off, do me a little, a little bob wave maybe, and then just like chop him out the fucking picture and just do like boss bitch shit. But we may get there one of these days, but probably not. But this brought me, that much closer to that imagination.
I love your commentary, and I'm so sorry for the wrong emoji. I hate it, when you want to give a reaction, but you give like the wrong reaction.
I know you feel me. I feel all of y'all, because y'all are making some great points. But that rock bag, ooh, I don't know what we about to get next, whether it's country, rock. I don't give a fuck whether it's fucking alternative. It worked.
Yup, she's gonna eat it up. I mean, she did a whole dance album with Renaissance, and she just makes it work. Not everyone has that to her credit.
Okay?
Period. One thing about Beyonce, she gonna eat up any genre in this period.
Beyonce could make an opera album and it would eat.
Still waiting on that.
And next up, we'll do Guadalupe.
Okay, so Don't Hurt Yourself. I thought I understand the meaning of the track, and that when they're together, they feel alike. They feel together with each other, and like they're one, like they're united. So I took it like overall, it's a stern warning. Those are my 2 cents.
Okay. So hopefully that'll work. But in the meantime, we'll move on to the next song, which is going to be Sorry. All right, so my thoughts on this song. This has actually always been one of my favorite songs off of this album. I just really like what she tapped into, like middle fingers up and what about it? She's like, I'm not sorry for how I'm reacting to all this like information, and she just like really tore it up. It's just so much fun to listen to. Every single time I listen to this song, I just really appreciate it. I love the energy that it has. I love the lyrics. Her vocals are great and very entertaining. I love the production. I love the bridge on this song as well, and just like, the contrast from the rest of the song. I always love a good bridge, but especially this one I thought was a really nice piece. So yeah, always been one of my favorites off this album.
Yes. Oh my gosh, one of my favorites. Top 2 for me, and it's there. Like I know I'm saying it like it's top 2 because it's one of the best songs on the album from a production standpoint. And obviously love the lyrics, you know, how she's like, boy, bye, like I'm gonna stick all the middle fingers up at you. Like, I'm not sorry, mofo. Like, you did me dirty, and I'm gonna let you know.
You did me dirt, but what did I do?
What did I
Like that
do?
mofo.
And then I know like this line gets referenced a lot, but like I love where she says, better call Becky with the good hair. Like, it's so crazy. And then of course all the speculation that came from, you
Yeah,
know,
all the controversy that came from
yeah,
that. They
like
thought because people said it was Rachel Roy, and then people confused
Rachel
that
Ray,
with
the
Rachel
like
Ray, and then
cooking
she was getting
post.
harassed in her Instagram
Not
comments, and
Yeah,
then
Rachel
they
she
were
had to
Ray.
like
say it
spamming her with
wasn't
the
me.
No,
beehive.
next
It
Barbara
wasn't me.
Walters. I'm
She
fucking
said
done.
I'm just trying to make a risotto. Now why am I in it? Now why am I
Exactly.
in it? Like, oh
Like,
my god, that
yeah,
woman
I'm
ain't
not
ever
trying.
get to eat.
She's like, I'm not trying to like, you know, break a home. I'm trying to like, you know, break some. I don't
I'm
know,
trying
like
to
a
make a
circus.
home. I'm trying to make a home with these dishes, and what? Now she in it. Now
Right.
she in it. All she's trying to
Exactly.
do is just, you know, make
I
something
know
for
she
the
got
Cooking
some free
Network.
promo though. Good for her. She
Hey,
deserved it because the
Please.
Beehive is fucking crazy. So I know
it's
she's gonna
crazy.
kill
At
it.
least, you know, the beehive knows of her now. So hey, I mean, I'm sure they've always known of her, but you know, they especially know now. But yeah, no, like it's
Martha Stewart getting in next.
right.
Please, not
You never
Martha.
know. Yeah, so I just love the confidence that Beyonce has in this song, and you know, despite, you know, like the like, you know, devastating situation she's going through with infidelity, like she's still like, you know, approaching the song with like a lot of confidence and like, you know, like grace. Like, it's really interesting approach, like, because a lot of people could be like, you know, do a woe is me, boo hoo, I got cheated on, like, of which of course those feelings about it too, because you know, when you get cheated on, like, how could you not feel that way? But
That shit
beyond
hurted.
that shit hurt, but you know, Beyonce's like approach is different, and I like that.
Yeah, so about the song, I was gonna say, like, one of the best, like, songs on the album, of course, like everyone said, top 2, top 3, yes, yes, yes. The only thing I will say is I don't like during how Homecoming, she was like, balls, suck on my ball. I was like, Beyonce, sweetie, let's go ahead and get to the next line. Like, I don't know why she did that, but as far as, like, the studio version, she ate no crumbs.
Period.
And remember the music video? That shit was crazy. She was like twitching. Ooh, she was on her Nicki shit. She ate.
She ate. Period. Next up is Daniel.
Not Twitter. No, but this this is actually one of my favorite songs off the album by far. I remember like when the song came out, like the whole Becky with the good hair controversy, and everyone was like wondering who it was. But yeah, that part, like the video where she's like moving her body in like different directions, is so freaky. I don't know what she was on or what she was doing, but you go. You know, honestly, you do what you need to. You have to freak us out. This is an album. You know, it's a spiritual journey, but has a horror aspect, and I love that she ties it all in together. You know, so really, really good song. I'm also shocked that like it wasn't as big. Like what it didn't chart that high because it seemed like I don't know. It had so much potential
Yeah,
to
it
be
was a
I
so much
good
think
bigger.
song for
Hold
the
Up like
time.
stole her spot. I think
Right?
that's what happened.
Who?
Hold Up, this one. That was
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Probably.
I didn't hear it. I didn't hear what you said. I thought you said Coldplay. I said, now why Coldplay in it? Like,
our bestie.
Not cold.
I was very confused. I didn't hear it correctly. That's why I
Apple's
asked you to
father.
clarify. All right. Next up, we will do Mariah.
Yeah, like I found this song very catchy, and I like the idea that she's like not like dwelling too much on what happened. Like she's looking at it positively, like, you know, me and my baby were gonna be alright, we're gonna move on, we're not gonna do this, we're not gonna, you know, stress about it. And it's just like,
Exactly.
yeah, more people should do that. Just, you know what? It is what it is, move on and think positively.
Exactly. Period. Next up is Cozy.
I love me some sorry because I'm not one to say sorry at all. I'm very unapologetic about all of my shit.
Riantis.
Okay, look, I was waiting for somebody to catch it.
Yes, Cozy.
But sorry for me was just like I agree with y'all. Like it should have been up there higher, but I feel like everybody was just like, "Girl, you know you're not about to leave that." So it ain't no point in saying sorry. But it was just so fun for the times because it reminds me of like what we're doing right now. Just you talk yourself down and you have those people in your corner that talk you down, like your girls, your just like your girls, like and like the people that you literally like just like go to after you've done something so crazy, so sporadic, so insane, and you literally go out and you have a good time. You go and have a drink. You go over and you literally just cry it out and watch a good comfort movie. And that's what this song kind of reminds me of, simply because it's just a matter of, I mean, I could be on to the next one, but I'm still over here, like, really, like, just digging you. I'm loving you. And we all know that Beyonce's favorite number is 4. And I feel like this is kind of like one of her favorite, like, fucking songs off of the goddamn entire thing. And it just reminded me of that. It just reminded me of like a night out with girlfriends and just like we're just gonna forget everything that just happened just now. We just gonna have a good time. We gonna have some drinks. We gonna just move on from it. And hopefully, like of course you're gonna remember it, but we want you to forget it just for the night. And that's what this song reminded me of. And I love the twitching. I love the lyricism. Production was on fucking par because that shit started doom doom. I'm like, you be getting into some like weird ass shit. It would be crazy to be behind that goddamn curtain, that veil. But it was everything it needed to be, and then I feel like more in this. Like I wasn't, you never know what to expect when you listen to an album for the first time, but this one like really exceeded my expectations. We ain't gonna talk about the demo, but I love Sorry though.
Yeah, and now that you bring up the demo, after Guadalupe speaks, because I'm sure he wants to say his piece, we can talk about quick thoughts on the demo if you guys would like, because I did want to talk about that a little bit for sure.
So I'm sorry. Personally, I thought it's a skip, but I really liked. I agree with Mariah when she says that the good part. What I thought is the ending wasn't bad. Like when she goes, me and my baby, we're gonna be alright. We're gonna live a good life. So that's the way that I agree with Mariah. And the music video, I just like the cameo that Serena Williams does on it.
Interesting opinion you formed. Thank you.
Period. Oh, what you want to say, Mariah?
Yeah. I just wanted to quickly say something I forgot to mention earlier. The line, "Only wants me when I'm not there." Yeah, some people need
Right.
to. Yeah, that's just the thing that people need to like think about. Like, yeah, sometimes people do that. That's true.
Exactly. So now we can share some quick thoughts on the Sorry demo. So it's really interesting to hear where songs start, right? Because you think of like the conception of a song and just to hear how everything changes and stuff. It's cute for a listen every once in a while, but for me personally, I kind of like listen to the rest of the album, skip it, move on about my day because I like the final version better. I like the final production more. I like the final like vocals and like how everything is structured more. I think it feels kind of disjointed in the demo, which is to be expected. You're still figuring out the song and how you want it to work. So the demo is cute, but the original, that we got on the album, I will personally be listening to that more.
Yeah, I agree with Anastasia. Like she pretty much said what I wanted to say about the demo. The demo just does feel like it's not a bad demo. It's cute. It's nice for what it is. Like it's still better than some people's full on finished songs. I will say that. But for Beyonce standards, yeah, it's just not what I like to listen to all the time or go out of my way to go listen to. I do definitely skip it when I listen to the Lemonade album, but yeah, like it's not a bad demo. It's nice, but it's just in comparison to the final product washes with ease.
Period. Michaela,
What song are we on?
we're talking about the Sorry demo.
I don't know her. I've never listened to it, but someone else can speak.
Real. I'll do Cozy next because he was talking about it.
I'm not gonna speak too much on it too. Nothing against the girl. She's cute, but was cute next to gorgeous. Capitalize that shit and let's keep it moving. Capital
Period.
S, capital
Period.
O, capital double R, Y. Fuck that. Like I liked it, but I was like, somebody probably heard that shit and like, girl, what the fuck is this? Like, we need to turn this up a bit. No, like literally, like turn it up and like, what you're talking about is real shit because that's what I always love. From from Mariah, from Whitney. They touch from a tangible standpoint.
Exactly.
But we need to turn it up. We need to put a little pop beat over it. We need to do a little hip hop situation.
Yes.
We don't need this. No, I did not like. No, that's why it's a demo for a reason.
Yes, I can see what you're saying by that. And like, thinking about the demo again, I really think it was smart to change it up because I feel like sonically it kind of would have blended together too well with Hold Up, like I feel like it just would have sounded too similar, So I feel like making it more dynamic and stuff with all that, making it pop more, I think it just like really build the song out. So I love hearing demos of the songs, I will say. Anyone else want to speak on the demo of the song or are we good to move on to the next one?
I think we're good to move on.
Then we will move on to track number 5, which is going to be 6 Inch featuring The Weeknd. All right, so I just have to say the fact that Michaela was downvoting all the way throughout the Weeknd's part, and then when Beyonce came, she started doing all the 100 emojis and stuff. That was really funny to me. She said, "I hate this man" on the song, but when Beyonce came, Beyonce ate, and I do have to respect that. I do. So I will have that piece. My thoughts on the song, I really like it. I think the production is like very cool. I think it really stands out. I think the Weeknd feature is cool. I can appreciate it for what it is. He doesn't ruin the song, thank God. So I will take that for what it is. I really like the vibe of it, I will say. It's just really captivating. I love the vocals, the vocal layering. The bridge is really great. I like the lyrics as well, so everything ties in nicely for me. So it's a good track on the album, in my personal opinion.
I love this song. I definitely probably in my like top 5. Yeah, it's such a good song. I love the production. Love like how like dark the production is and like, mysterious. It has a nice little mysterious, edgy vibe that I love. It's a nice little hustler anthem, empowering, people, specifically women, to like stand the grind and
Period. And
keep
what did she
making.
say? Diva is the female version of a hustler, like, period.
Exactly. This is the 2016 version of Diva, if you really think about it. And then, yeah, like, I love that she uses, like, her 6-inch heels as a symbol of, like, her wealth and power to show that she worked hard for what she has and all the success she has in her life. And not only she feels she's worthy of of the success she's had, she's going to flaunt it and be like, and what about it? Look at these look at these 6-inch heels. Yeah, no, just a great track. And yeah, I liked The Weeknd on the track. He did pretty good.
Basically, we're all thinking the same thing. I feel like The Weeknd wasn't needed on this song whatsoever, but they put him on there because he was popular at the time and we couldn't escape him. Like, he's fucking annoying and he's never needed on anything, but here we are. Beyonce did amazing and she ate, and then The Weeknd was just breathing, and
oh my god, you are dragging him so hard. I live. To be honest,
Like,
I
where's
would not.
Usher? Usher wasn't available? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, I could see that.
At
I
least
mean,
it
for
wasn't Chris Brown. Let me stop. At least it wasn't Chris Brown. I would take back
I
everything I just
I
said.
could give him lashings for days, but we in our classy party era, so we gotta move on from that. But
Yeah.
I will say with The Weeknd, I mean, I don't really tap into his music like that much. I don't really listen to him outside of features because it's never that serious to me. But I mean, he's fine on the song. But if he wasn't on the song, like, I would not have missed his presence on the track. He's not like that big on the song for me. It'd be like, oh my god, I would miss him on it. So if it was solo, it would be fine. If his feature got deleted, it would be fine. Like, I'm really like, he didn't ruin the song. That's all I can give him. The vocal was good, that's pretty much it. So I don't really feel like very like huge on his feature, it's not a deal breaker to me. We'll do Daniel next.
Okay, so personally, I don't know what it is with the Weeknd slander right now that Michaela is like putting out into the universe.
Hi,
Because
Kai.
hi Kai. Personally, I feel like he did a good job on it. I feel like it's a good feature. I don't have any problems with it at all. And Michaela can put down those thumbs any day that she wants, but it's the truth. Like, he does not make the song any bad. It's a good collab. You cannot deny it. He was in his bag just like she was. Like,
Exactly.
they just now there's just something there's just something about it that is so good and addicting. And like the video as well, where like
Yeah.
she's driving around at night and then she like burns the house. Ooh, I love it.
Exactly.
Exactly. You're so real, Daniel. And I know Michaela's like, I don't care if everyone's against me. I'm gonna stand in my truth.
Michaela's like me when she hosted those Mariah spaces. So many times I was on my own for Lullaby on Charm
Matthew and
Bracelets.
Jay were right next to you, sweetie.
No, bro. I literally did not meet them until a little bit after I started
Bro?
doing your spaces and talking to them in my J era. And what about
Yeah,
it?
and I was not able to attend the Charm Bracelet
Because
space.
when I
and then
started doing
station-
your spaces, it was like it was December and stuff, and I didn't meet Jay and like start talking to him until the beginning of January, and then I started inviting him to stuff, and he couldn't even make the Charm Bracelet one. But so many times I was fighting for my own, so many times. But you know what? I appreciate how much you hate his feature on the song. It's actually kind of like refreshing, even though I don't feel that way. Like, I live. Scooter's next.
So let me. I have a question because they didn't release it as a single, so they obviously didn't feel confident enough to add The Weeknd that maybe a hit radio. Is it because was The Weeknd that popular in 2020, 2016, or is he like? I would say now he's more annoying, like on the radio all the time, but. In 2016, was he?
He was still popular.
Yeah, he was popular. He had that Starboy song out that was, and that he was like, the transition into pop.
He just came out of that era where he had like his big songs. Can't Feel My Face. The Hills.
I think that was off his last album, the Beauty Behind the Madness album.
Yeah, I know. It was 2014, 2015 era, but he had just came out that era, so he's still like hot and buzzing.
Yeah, he was coming off of that, and then the Starboy album, the song was a moment. So he really was popular then. He is more popular now, I think, with his last few albums. But I see what you mean.
Especially like mainstream wise, like he's more popular, I would assume now. But I don't think Usher would have been a good choice, although we all love Usher. In 2016, like I don't think he would have been. I hate to say like relevant, but really as popular, I guess, as The Weeknd would kind of have been.
Please, Michaela is so fed up with you. Oh my god.
Like, I thought really Scooter would get where I'm coming from. But yes, I get it. Like, Weeknd was really popular.
I mean, Usher would have sounded better. Yeah, and Cozy is next.
I love this song. I really think like they really elevated each other, and a lot of times like I really don't feel like Beyonce be looking for people that's like popular or popping at the point. I wanted them on the track ever since I heard that Earned It sound. I mean, I earned it. 50 Shades of Grey soundtrack. I'm like, ooh, what would they sound like together? She had that like dark fun scene, crazy love theme going on, and he had Earned It. And it just was like I want them on like a sexy theme, and I just love her shout out to like 6 inch because at first I thought she was talking about dick. Not gonna lie, not gonna just gonna tell the truth. But then she did 6 inch. I'm like, oh, it makes sense because she's always in heels, stiletto. And then it was an ode to like strippers, them getting up every day and making their money and Monday to Friday, work from Friday to Sunday, like it don't stop. Like whatever we got going on at the crib, I still gotta get out here and I gotta make my money. I gotta grind. And I liked it. I really, really appreciated it. And the visual wasn't my favorite, but I liked it though, like for what it was, like the house burning down and yeah, it just the symbolism, people don't really like touch on that a lot when it comes to Lemonade, but that shit, yeah. She really did that just for like the ones who get up every day and make shit happen. Regardless of what is going on behind the curtain, we still got to get up and we got to get out and make that money.
Period. Yeah, and that's such a good point in just like looking at her visuals in general. Because one thing about Beyonce, she's like very intentional with like everything that she puts out there as an artist. Like the song, she's very big on the vocal production. She has a hand in everything. Like like things are done intentionally that you might not get the first time. That you have to like look back at it or hear other people's interpretation. So I feel like people don't really give Beyonce credit for the genius that she is, not only for the music that she makes, but the intention behind the visuals and her imaging and all that stuff. All of it's very important to how you see her, and she's always been very big on that from the beginning. And kind of like Daniel was talking about, from self-titled to this, she definitely leveled up in the visuals. And if we ever get the beyond the Renaissance visuals, which I don't know if that gonna happen. I hope, but we don't know. If we do, yeah, she'll take it to another level. How are we gonna get the I'm That Girl teaser? And then that was like 6 months ago and nothing yet. Like this woman is playing in our face. But you know what? I'm, prayers up. I want the visuals, but she just keeps loving it up. So that's what I can say in regards to that. Any thoughts, Guadalupe?
Yeah, I thought with the song 6 inch, I thought I liked the shift of the thought towards the end of the song when she says, now you know what I make you feel," and that's my opinion.
Period. Any final thoughts on the song, or are we good to move on to the next one? All right, I don't see anything, so we will move on to the next song, number 6, which is going to be Daddy Lessons. All right, so my thoughts on this song. Beyonce tackles country and she ate. Like whenever, what was it, the CMA Awards or something with the chicks, and even, Natalie Maines, who was like, the front woman of that group, she was like, we weren't even gonna like wanna like do a performance here. Like we were not trying to do all day. But then whenever, Beyonce got in the picture, of course we had to say yes, obviously as you do. So I really love that. And I love the chicks, by the way, sidebar. I really appreciated how they like always stood up for what they believed in, especially like at the time. Like it would have been very easy for them to fold and stuff, but they didn't do that. So I have like a lot of respect for them and changing their name, and I really like their stuff. So I appreciated that moment. I will say definitely one of the best songs on the album, might be the best song on the album. It kind of goes between this and another song for me personally, but I really love it. I love the guitar all the way throughout here. I love the saxophone, I believe, on here as well. Her vocals are amazing. Production is really nice. Everything on the song is like done super, super well. Beyonce showing off her versatility once again. There's nothing that this woman can't sing. If she did a country album next, I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind her stepping, into her country bag once again. But for what she did, ate that up. We love to see it.
Yes, I love Daddy Lessons. Yeah, top 2 on down for me because yeah, I would say I guess I prefer Sorry a little bit over Daddy Lessons, but then Daddy Lessons follows right behind for me. Like such a good song. I love the composition of it. I love how she dabbles into country. Like because I'm not someone that likes country at all, if I'm gonna be honest. Like I'm not a fan of the genre, but Beyonce, like if I could listen to a Beyonce country album, like I would get into country more because just Beyonce, can do anything genre wise, and she makes me love country based on this song alone. And then that performance she did with the Dixie Chicks, just so good, like so iconic. And then I love how she talks about like her roots in Texas and the lessons she learned from her daddy. Like it's such an interesting song. Like I love it. And yeah, no, like it's just what else? Like do I want to say about the song? Like,
Notice how he's wiping his tears as he's trying to collect his thoughts because the
Oh
song
my
is that
god.
good.
not me crying. I'm not crying.
He said, and
and
Michaela.
and I no, but
He said that's a great question.
I know, like, no, but no, for real, it's just such a great track. I cannot get enough of it. Like, I look forward to the song every time it plays on the album.
Exactly. I mean, really quickly, I'm not the biggest fan of country music. I like country music when it tells a story. I'm big on storytelling country. I hate bro country. Get it out of here. Like, just like, let's be for real. If you're telling a nice story, I love the Chicks. I love Taylor Swift. Like, I have like few country acts that I listen to that I like, but that's quick thoughts on the country genre at large for me at least. But I think there's some really good country out there with the storytelling and the instrumentation as well. I appreciate that.
Exactly.
Next will be Michaela.
so really quick, shout out to Dolly Parton. Like, you mentioned the
Period.
country, that is my fucking
I
girl.
forgot to mention her. I feel so bad. That's like the queen of country. Oh my gosh. Ugh, I
It's
should feel
okay. We
ashamed.
all have silly mistakes. I thought you were gonna say Dolly, and then you're like, I love country, especially this. And I was like, Dolly. She said Taylor. I was like,
I
oh.
forgot. Taylor used to be in her country bag. We can never forget what
She
she's
was
done.
eating. She was
Exactly.
eating. The other
I
girls
can't
were not
believe
seeing
I'm
her.
so glad you brought Dolly Parton up though, because Dolly Parton really she really showed the girls. And she said that she wants Beyonce to do a cover, I think Jolene or something like that, which would be really interesting to hear. So I would love to hear that for sure. But continue.
Yes, I could talk about Dolly all day and why she's an amazing person that we all need to bow down. But yes, so back to the song. The song is great. I really love Daddy Lessons way better than Daddy from Dangerously in Love. I feel like Daddy
Exactly.
is cringy.
It really
Daddy
is.
Lessons is like a better revamped version of the song. And I love her relationship with her dad despite all the difficulties they've been through. And, I just love that she has that close relationship with her dad. And I even love that she was doing country because she's from Texas. And so I like that she did that because country music is obviously from Black people and she's Black and from Houston, Texas. So I thought that was really cool. The Chicks, love the Chicks, grew up listening to them. I was born in Kentucky and raised there, and then I was also raised in Texas, but I lived in Georgia. So it's like the Chicks were very popular and everywhere. Love them. Fuck George Bush. They have balls
Period.
of steel because their entire fan base is like homophobic, Bud Light drinking, like rednecks.
Republicans.
Yes, thank you. And so the fact that they like stood up, especially at that time, like them doing it now today would be crazy. And we have more like free speech and like more, I guess, anti-Republican propaganda. But back then, it's like even if you
Yeah,
were a
really
Democrat,
controversial back then, yeah.
even if you were a Democrat back then, you still were very like pro America. So, oh my god, like I love them so much. Mwah. So when they did that CMT shit, they fucking ate the fact that Beyonce asked them to perform with her. It was just too fucking good. It really was a treat, and it's something that will not happen again for another like 50 to 100 years. That type of performance. So it was fucking crazy, and I just love how Beyonce always includes everybody, and like she thinks of people again. Jack White was on her damn song. She got the Chicks to do this collab. Like she's actually a music lover, just like Mariah Carey is a she loves to do her homework and she loves to look at other people who have very soulful voices and she studies. So does Beyonce. Beyonce is an actual music fan and she takes her job seriously. So that's what I wanted to say about this song.
Period. We love the dissertation. We love it. We love it. Love it. So many excellent points were made. Next up is Daniel.
Okay, so as Michaela did, she made great points, as we all, know. But for me, okay, so this song, for me personally, I'm not like a big country lover, and
I knew he was
Please.
gonna say that stupid shit, but
it took
okay.
You didn't
no,
buzz
but
Jay
look,
for saying the same thing.
literally, like, no, it's become like a hate crime now. Michaela just doesn't want black people to speak for some reason. She's
Bro,
against the queer
what?
community. You're against the queer community. It's coming out, Michaela. But anyway, I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. No, but this song like this was a grower for me. It took me like a few years to actually get it and to actually like it.
Years? Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but it did. It really did. I just didn't understand it. And I'm not again, I just don't listen to country a lot. The only people I like listen to is like Dolly, Shania, Kenny Rogers. That's it. I
Ooh,
have a very
Shania,
limited
you
list.
real as fuck.
Right, exactly, mother. But yeah, so this took me a while to get it. I like it now. It's actually one of my favorite songs off the album. I like the story she tells with it. but I still don't want her getting any ideas to make a country album in the future. I think this was a cute moment. Stick with it. That's great. But let's not
We
hype
need
you
more
up too
country
much.
Beyonce. I'm sorry. You
We do
see,
not.
you
We
see how
need
in
pop and
Renaissance
R&B.
she threw
That's
the
it.
cowboy hat back on. It's almost like she knows that we need more country. So when she steps into her country bag again, I don't want to hear nothing from you, Daniel. No free clout. I don't want to see you switching up on time. Like, oh, she ate. She ate. I'm gonna play. I thought she didn't need more country. Like, wait till that
We
Dolly
could have
Parton
at
come
least
out.
gotten a country EP, but no, we got the Carters
Yes.
instead.
I would like at least a little EP. Yeah, that would be a nice little compromise. So you know what? I'm gonna wait for country to come back with Miss Beyonce, and I don't want to see you switching up, and that's all I can say.
Please.
All right, next up is Cozy.
Y'all be saying everything before I can even get to say it. Like, I love country music. I love the history behind it. I love, cause like literally I'm like down the street from Houston, Texas. I'm always out at the rodeos in my cowboy boots, stomping in the mud and shit like that. I love that, she shined the light on that because we rarely do get that. And I love how Michaela, did the contrast from Daddy Lessons to Daddy because I fucking hate that song. I hate. We need to talk. We need to have a whole space about how Beyonce be doing with these goddamn sequencing because the album closer should never be the fucking closer. Like she be pissing me off half of the time. But Daddy Lessons for me was just like it really spoke true to not only the relationship that she just has with her dad, but that she had with him. While she was while he was her manager. And when she did, sever those ties. And then, because in that song, Daddy, she was talking about, I want my son to be like my daddy. I want my, husband to be like my daddy. And it's like, do you want to now? Like, cause, ugh,
She
it
ate
ain't
with the
nothing to
vocals
give.
on the song, but the lyrics, on the other hand, didn't
Okay.
age the best. That's all I'm
Vocal
gonna
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
delivery
Actually, now that
down.
I wanted to say that before, you know,
Vocal delivery down, but
yeah,
the
vocal delivery, lyrics.
lyricism,
Yeah. Now that I
we
think about
need
it,
to, yeah, we needed to scrap those. You could have said like my
But that's why the
caddy or
skip
something.
button exists. Thank God. Thank God. That's why the hide song feature exists on Spotify, so I don't even have to come across it
Okay,
anymore. That's positivity.
agreed. But I just loved it. I loved it from as soon as we get those claps at the beginning, and you hear that fucking banjo strum, and it just make you want to just slap your knee, and yeah, like I just being out in the South and just knowing the history that we have here, and just to see more people step into that bag because I don't give a fuck whether it's a black or white thing. I love acknowledging it, because I even love when Latin people step into that goddamn country bag, like. I love all of that shit. Like it's a melting pot. The Selenas and like we have so much just like culture out here, and see her celebrate that, not just all of that because that's later on into the album, where it's like male and male couples, female and female, and just all of that shit. She really just stepped into a very different just realm. And the simple fact that we were able to go along on the ride, you have to be blessed that you're in like the day and age of Beyonce. Just like, yeah, I love this song. And I'm not really too keen on country like that. But like the people that y'all mentioned, fuck with them down bad. Dolly, Shania, but that's the popular one though. If you want to get anyway, yeah, it was good. It was good. It was good. It was good. I ate it up. I ate it up.
Period. We love it. We love it. And I appreciated Michaela for kind of talking about how like black people literally invented country music because it literally is true. Black people basically invented like a lot of the genres that are out there and they never get given their due. We can't forget about, Sister Rosetta Tharpe, out there, doing it for us and like that's something that's very important. And yeah, I actually think that
exactly.
yeah, so I think that's like that piece. Maybe she was in rock music. If I mess that up, I am very sorry about that. But you get the point. Black people invented all these
Yes, like
different
the
genres and
fact that they
stuff.
invented country, rock, house, like a lot of the genres that we enjoy today. Like black people pioneered it, revolutionized it, but like they typically don't get the credit that they deserve because certain like white faces become the faces of those genres and
Elvis stupid ass.
Elvis stupid
Exactly.
period.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then obviously we
please.
know how he
Sorry, I
feels,
forgot.
from
Classy.
Classy Party.
No. That's fine. That's
Or
fine. That's
actually, no,
fine.
actually, we'll give him a quick lashing. Yeah,
Yeah,
the fact that he
we'll
became
do
the
that.
face of rock music and stole from like Black,
Yeah, like Little Richard didn't exist, like, and paved the way for him, like, be for real.
Like
exactly.
maybe it wasn't Elvis, but it's his fans that be doing too much that are like he's the king of rock and roll, like Sweetie Wet.
Yeah, that is the problem. And like you said, a lot of white people do become the faces for like these genres and stuff, and it's like you forget who actually like invented it, and it's so important to keep, like making sure everyone knows that history and giving people their credits and their flowers. I think that's really important. Next up will be Guadalupe.
Hey, so daddy lessons, I like the bond of the father and daughter. To be honest, that's the best lesson to give a daughter.
Period. Anyone else have any thoughts they wanted to say on the song? Or are we good to move on to the next song?
Charm Bracelet and Glitter are out now on iTunes. You guys
Oh
go ahead and
my
purchase it.
You
god.
That's all I want to
better do a
She's
shameless
literally
plug.
giving like Jay
Not
whenever
that.
Kelly Clarkson's new single came out, he was promoting it on every single space that we did, and they'll
Yeah,
probably
I was
promote it
like,
again at the
Mine
end of this
Slash Me
one.
is out now. Go purchase it. Go stream
He
it.
spent like 5 minutes at the end of every space we did together.
We
Like, it
have to
didn't even
support
matter
our
who it was
legends.
about. We
Exactly.
will be supporting. We will be, and when the new album comes out June 23rd, we will be supporting that as
Exactly. And then,
well.
oh
Would like
yeah,
to
and
see
then
it.
by the way, quick side note, at
Well,
her
you said
Velasco
Mariah
show a
got a
couple
new
days
album?
ago, she shouted out
No,
Beyonce.
I wish Mariah's new album was coming out then, babe. We in a drought. We in a drought with MC. I'm
Oh
talking about Kelly Clarkson's new album.
yeah, Kelly's new album's coming out in a few months, so it'll be fun.
Y'all
And a
about to
quick
get
little,
fed though, because she's doing the 30th anniversary, Jermaine Dupri of So Dev. So I think she got
Yeah,
to.
we'll see what happens. We'll see
we'll see what
about that.
happens. Yeah.
So we'll see. But yeah,
Okay.
great. And then the performance of it on the CMA is just badass. Love that she brought out the chicks, like, because you know how they were problematic for the fucking community for a minute. And I just love everything that they stood for. I love that they sit on that stage, all four of them together, and just making everybody see. The crowd was mad. I lived for it, shaking that ass and that barely did nothing. It just was everything for me. Like, yeah. I do country too, love.
Period. What was your sidebar, Jay, that you were going to talk about?
Oh yeah, sidebar. I don't know if I said it already, but let me just say it in case I didn't. But yeah, so Kelly actually shouted out Beyonce at her Belasco concert a few
Oh
days ago.
yeah, she did. She did. She was like, "Oh, all this is gonna be flawless, like Beyonce or something," because the show was getting taped, and she was talking about the sequencing will be flawless, like her or something. And I was like, "Period. Like, we love it. We love it. We love it." So I will definitely have that piece. And now I think we're gonna be good to move on to track number 7, Love Drought. Alright, so my thoughts on this song, I think it's a really intriguing piece. I will say that with like the production and just like how intricate that it is and stuff like that. So I really appreciate that moment about it. I think it's like a really dynamic moment for the production. So I appreciate just like the way that it grabs you in that. So I definitely will say that. And it's just like very mesmerizing to listen to in terms of the vocals. I love the lyrics as well. And then the lyrics I wrote down, one of my favorites: 9 times out of 10, I'm in my feelings, but 10 times out of 9, I'm only human. Tell me, what did I do wrong? And there's some other lyrics that I really liked in the song. So yeah, it's a very striking piece. Like sonically, it's really interesting as well. So I enjoy this one.
Yes, I love Drought. Like, it's a nice little airy, like calming production. Like, it's very like very floaty in the best way possible. It's just I love it so much, and it's like a plea to like how would I describe the song? It's just it's definitely like a song talking about like a love drought, and like how like it's just there's some things like lacking in a relationship. Like, I don't know how to describe it. It's just, and I've listened to the song plenty of times, but like I don't know. It's just you have to listen to it to like
Yeah, just
like really
wondering if you can like come out of that moment. Like, is
come
it
out of that
even
moment.
like a thing where we can salvage this
Like,
relationship,
can we
or like,
salvage it? Like,
yeah,
is it
like
worth
it's
salvaging?
struggling. It literally is a drought in this relationship.
Exactly. Yeah. So we can see that she's at that point, like after the infidelity, when she's like, is this worth saving? Like, because like certain people, when they get cheated on by their significant others, like they question that all the time. Like, is this relationship worth salvaging? Is there any love left that we can maintain so that way we can keep going from here, or can we go from here? It's like, and it's such a hard thing to be in when you're cheated on by your significant partner. Like, because I would hate to be in that kind of situation, because obviously I would never want to speak for other people on what they should do or shouldn't do if they get cheated on. But like, for me personally, like, I don't know, like, if I would want to like continue that kind of relationship, because like, yeah, like, of course I could have like all the love in the world for that person, but do me dirty, like, it's just I just don't know, like, if I would be able to see you in the same light again.
Yeah, and that's just like a really interesting thing to think about. And this entire album is her kind of like going through the journey and stuff of just saying, I pray you catch me, listening to all this stuff and just like the entire journey between, being mad and then like coming to terms with it and forgiving and all that. So it's a really beautiful piece with that. And so I think, it just is really intentional with the sequencing. So I will definitely say that. Next up is Daniel.
Okay, so Love Drought for me is one of my favorite Beyonce songs, top three in her entire discography. I've always loved the song. Ever since the Grammy performance, I've been in love with it. My favorite thing about it is probably like the production as well, but when you like listen to the lyrics, you really get the sense of how she's actually feeling and like the emotions she's going through, especially when she's like, I've always been committed, I've been focused, I always paid attention, been devoted. Tell me, what did I do wrong? And like, because it's just like, I don't know, you can like feel how upset she is that he did what he did, and as she said, she didn't really like, I don't think she really did anything to cause that in a way. Like,
Yeah, it's
they
got
have the
her
perfect,
overthinking everything that
yeah,
she's done. Like, is there anything I could have done to prevent this? And there really isn't,
right. You put it perfectly, Anastasia. That's what I was trying to like get the words together. But yeah, I love this song so much. And also the Grammy performance is one of the greatest things I've ever seen in all my life. One of the greatest things.
Period.
It doesn't even feel like it. Sorry, hold on, I'm gonna ramble. I need to breathe. No, but the performance is more than, to me, it's more than a performance. It's like she's bringing the entire Lemonade album to life. It's visually stunning. The
Yes.
dancing is so in sync, and like that chair thing, like, oof, God, it gave all of us a heart attack. But like, I don't know, it's just an incredible performance, and even when she was pregnant, she had her business hat on and she was, giving it a 10 out of 10, and I love it. I love this entire song. This is my favorite off the album. I think it really sums up the entire album, like her emotions perfectly in a way.
Exactly. I loved your piece on it. I really loved all the detail I love whenever people ride for a
Thank
song and they're
you.
like, this is my song and like the passion that they have for it. So I really loved your piece on it. Next up will
Thanks,
be
Jose.
Cozy.
I agree. Because this, for me, I always look for that in each album that I listen to, a 3-track run, and this next 3-track run, starting with this track, like Love Drought is it's just everything. It's everything that you want in a song. It's everything that you want in production. It's everything that you want in the message that I'm trying to convey. And to say 10 times out of 9, I know you're lying. Like, that's without a doubt, that's facts. But 9 times out of 10, I'm in my feelings. Like, you doubt that, but that's still fact too. And to pair that together, like, tell me, what did I do wrong? Like, I'm still sitting here at the top of the album. I was questioning myself, and still towards the end, I'm still questioning myself because I love you. And it was just so simplistic, and it was so blissful, and it felt like water just rushing over your face, like the way it came in and just like kind of just captured you. It just, Love Job for me is, I agree, top three, off of this album. The performance, sent me into a fucking frenzy, panic attack, heart attack, but it paired with, the next song that's about to come up, which is my favorite off the album. And just the vocal delivery and just the vulnerability. It's it's something you can't really repeat. You can't sit here and imitate. Like, some people just are just made for this shit. And that performance, they didn't deserve that shit because we still didn't get album of the year. It was just a lot of bullshit
Yeah,
going
that
on.
was ridiculous.
A lot of
Yeah.
bullshit going on that night, but Adele said it herself, so I guess we weren't looking too fucking wrong in the first
She was so real for that. She really was. She said the artist of my life is Beyonce.
artist
Like she
Yeah, no,
ate.
our
exactly.
lives.
Because if I was in
Yeah,
Adele's position, I would have been like, how the hell am I winning this? Like, we know objectively who deserved it the most in the category. Like,
and
I
25
don't know
was
what
the
the fuck I'm
girl.
doing
She
on.
was a bop. She was a bop.
Exactly. Of course, we love 25.
Not
Like,
bigger
love
than
the album,
Lemonade,
but
though.
but it's no
But no
lemonade.
lemonade, baby. It was lemons compared to lemonade, and I just didn't.
Literally,
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah, Lemonade ate that up. We love Adele, we do, but the truth is the truth.
Right,
Sorry.
but Love
like
Drought.
even on Anti as well. Like,
Oh yeah.
it doesn't compete
The
really.
fact that she didn't walk away with anything, Rihanna. Oh no, I have questions. I have concerns. I have, who's the manager type situation.
Yeah, Anti was such a good album. I'm
Not who's the
surprised
manager.
Baby,
with Not the manager.
I
That's
want to
insane.
speak to
What?
whoever is in charge. And they old and dusty and just, about to be lifted up and carried on to their grave. So they shouldn't have no opinion in the situation. But I don't know. I just feel like that was the one. But Love Drop for me is just so, that for me is kind of like the, like I said, with Don't Hurt Yourself, that's kind of like the roller coaster going down. Love Drop is more so like just kind of like the ease back up to, restoration and forgiveness, and we're gonna figure this out together, and that's just all I got from her, because no matter what we say, no matter how we may feel or how she feels, she loves that man. And it's just so crazy to see in this day and age, because I don't know what y'all, I'm about to get a little bit personal, but I'm trying to settle down myself. The people don't date no more. But that song makes me believe like you can just sit down and have a conversation, and we can just try to work it out. And it'll figure itself out. Like Love Drop for me is definitely top three in that. Just yeah.
Period.
Sorry, that's the ramble.
Yeah, I loved hearing your piece though about everything, and yeah, there's so much to say about overall thoughts that I don't want to spoil. So I will have that piece, and we'll talk about my overall thoughts on it more. Guadalupe, you want to go next?
Exactly. Speechless.
Oh my god. Oh my god. All right. Well,
Can you hear me?
okay, yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay, so what was it? It was Love Drought, right? So I like
Yeah.
the way it begins with the quote, 9 times out of 10, I know you're trying, so I'm trying to be fair. That's the one that stuck out to me. And I like when she says, you and me could move a mountain, so you and me could stop this love drought. So that's my take.
Exactly, exactly. If like we both, work together in this situation, like on the relationship, we can't be stopped. Janities, but it's really true. It's really true. So I will have that piece. And now we will move on to track number 8, Sandcastles. Every promise don't work out that way. All right, so my thoughts on the song. I said that Adolescence is kind of going between then the song for my favorite on this album, and it's actually this one. Whenever this album came out and I listened to it and stuff, this was like always my fave on the album. I always loved this song like a lot, and then whenever I saw people didn't like it, I was like, oh, like this is gonna be a problem for me. Like, how do you not like the song? Like, I really don't understand. Like, I think it's a really like vulnerable piece, especially like with the lyrics and everything. Her saying dishes smashed on my counter from our last encounter, picture snatched out the frame, bitch, I scratched out your name and your face. Like, just like the pure like like anger in that she like tapped in, and like there's just so much complexity in that I'll kind of like touch on more later. But yeah, I really love the piano on it. I loved her vocal performance. I felt like it was really emotive. You feel every word that she's singing. It's very powerful. I don't get why you wouldn't like this. It's always been one of my favorites off the album. So that's my piece.
My thoughts on Sandcastles, I love it. Like, I never hated Sandcastles when it came out. I was never like, turn this shit off, like, get it away from me. No, I never was like that. No,
Please,
but
you said this about another song on the Kelly Space we did or something like that. I
I
remember
know.
that. I'm getting deja vu. Word to Miss
I
Beyonce.
know. That's my signature phrase. Turn that shit off. No, but no, no, I've always had an appreciation for it, but like it was never a song that I played the most on the album. But then one day I was like, okay, like I've really grown to like love it and have it ranked pretty high. Don't know how high I'd rank it because like I said, rankings fluctuate, but I really love how Beyonce's vocals are raw and like, show, how yeah, she's hurt, but like, she's trying to like find hope and like, in like her love with like her husband, like because the first time she talks about being like yo, like you really burned me, like what the fuck is this? But now like she's like really like reminiscing like on the moments she had with like her husband, and like is trying to see where her and her husband can go from there, like where they can go next, because it's like where do you go like after all the betrayals happen? Like it's really like a moment of reflection, and I really love that. And it's like, oh, such an emotional track. Like there's some times where I do listen to it and I have the urge to cry because it's just like, oh my god, like it's so beautiful but yet heart gut wrenching, like how she portrays herself in the song. It's just beautiful.
Exactly, exactly. I forgot to add for Love Drought. Michaela put in the I put in the jumbotron. She said Love Drought ate such a good deep cut, so I wanted to have her piece on here. Next up is gonna be Daniel.
Okay, so again, I agree with everything you said. I feel like this is like another ballad where her vocal performance really shines. Well, I think this is like the ballad performance where her vocal performance shines through throughout the entire thing, and you feel the emotion of how she is coming to deal with it, with his infidelity, but also how she's going to deal with moving forward in a way, because obviously that's going to be like much harder. I feel, is how you're going to forgive that person for betraying your trust, and you really start to hear it throughout this Troy Sandcastle right here. I feel. And yeah, I love her entire vocals on it. I feel like, she kept it honest as she could, with especially with like the vocal cracks. Like you hear the emotion, you hear like how upset she is, and I love this ballad. I don't know why not a lot of other Hive members give it enough appreciation, because I feel like it's one of the best off the album. But I love it. I really, really love the song as well.
Period. Taste. I love when we step together. Next up, we'll do Cozy.
Oh, you know me. Like I said, this is the second one on the 3-track run. This is my favorite off the album. As much as I love aggressive and boom cack, choreo like out, like choreo down, like freaking dress, that high intensity, high tempo shit. I love her in her just like ballad bag. And then this just kind of yeah, like, I don't know. Like, I can't really talk about it too much without getting emotional because I'm the same with y'all. Like, I can sit here and just, like, play this shit for, like, 18 times on loop and then play it 13 times back to play it 38 times again. Like, Sandcastles for me is just, you just get imagery, like, throughout this entire album. And that's the thing that I'm, so grateful about with Beyonce, because she gives us visuals, because we are over here just kind of thinking and just, listening to the album. But you can see what she's like, really, you can see the picture that she's painting. And with this one, from the jump, like, we built Sandcastles, but they washed away. Like, we built this shit, but they've been washed away. Not by one of
Exactly.
me, not by
Devastating.
you. Yeah, like just from Love Drought before, we can move mountains, but it has to be both of us, And the simple fact
Exactly.
that I'm
One
doing it
person
by
can't be
myself,
doing all the work for everything to
okay,
progress.
okay, I can bring the bucket to the beach, the sand to the beach, but it's just this like performance. And I know she probably only performed this. This is the shortest performance we got of that era, because it's hard for her to get through that song. Like, the voice cracks, the stripped down Bear, the brunette Beyonce. We rarely get that shit nowadays. And her playing her piano, it took me back to Die With You, and how she just really loves this. I just loved how he was rubbing her feet in the video. Like, we don't need no actor. I need him. Come on, step on in. Like, everything about this song was just very, very. This was kind of like the if Don't Hurt Yourself was like the high, and then Love Drive was coming down to like the low. Like, this is kind of like the crescendo. Kind of just we about to like take it back up, and we're about to forgive each other. I'm about to forgive you, and I just love this song down. Like, I can't say too much more without like getting into touchy shit, but Sandcastles for me is literally number one off the album, because it's like the theme of the album. This is kind of like the fucking MVP of the fucking album. Like that
Period.
song,
Period.
that song, yeah.
Yes. So underrated. So underrated. Probably one of my favorite Beyonce songs all time. So I'm glad to hear the praise for the song, because I see slander for this song like every week, and I'm tired. I'm tired. Like, get some taste, please. Next up, we'll have Guadalupe.
Yeah, so I know it goes against what you guys are saying, but Sandcastles, I had to skip it just for the sole reason that it's too heart wrenching. I couldn't go through with it. So those are my 2 cents.
Yeah, that's understandable. Some stuff is just like hard to listen to, like Mariah Petals or Sunflowers for Alfred Roy, just like tugs too deep. So sometimes it just like, I can't listen to this like in this moment sometimes, or so I understand that it can be a very painful piece. I get that moment. Any final thoughts on the song, or do we want to move on to the next one?
I need at least one more performance, but we might not get it.
I know.
Yeah, she needs to do this on tour. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
We need scrap resentment. She loves to do 1+1.
Yes,
We need to put that for
yes.
the slow
We're
ballad.
on the exact same page. Like, I need the song to get more love, and then watch
Exactly.
people switch up and act like they loved it since the beginning. Watch.
Exactly,
But I was here.
exactly.
Word to Beyonce. Word to Beyonce. Like,
I
I
was here,
literally
honey.
was. I was. I've been standing this song for so long, so
You
I'm
get
glad to
it.
hear the praise. Exactly, and you get it. I love that. I love that. All right, now we're gonna move on to track number 9, which is 4, featuring James Blake. Not them picking the absolute worst snippet of the song to play. Like, let's be serious for a moment. But besides that, this song actually has grown on me. I think it works nicely as a transitional moment in the album from Sandcastles to Freedom. Like, it's kind of a nice bridge in between that. So, like, thinking about it in that context, like when it plays, I'm like, okay, like I see like its context in the whole narrative of this album, why it's here. Do I really go up for the song? Not really, not really. I can skip it. I'm not really gonna feel that bad about it if I'm honest. Don't really, love it. It's not terrible. I'm kind of just like ambivalent on it. It's kind of there to me. Sometimes listen, sometimes it won't. But yeah, I can definitely say that about it.
Yeah, this song used to be a skip for me. I'm gonna say it. Yeah, Forward. It didn't gravitate. I didn't gravitate towards it. Like when the album like came out, I did not feel inclined to listen to it. I never was like, oh, I hate the song so much, turn the shit off. No, but like I don't know, it just didn't move me in the way that I wanted to. But the song has grown on me over the years. And do I rank it high in my ranking? No, definitely ranks more towards the bottom, I would say. But still a beautiful piece. And it's interesting how this is a turning point on the album where, after all the infidelity that's happened in the relationship, like Beyonce's choosing to move ahead. And it's notable, how like, we're going from like a more like, angry tone to now more softer tone. Like, you know, like we're trying to like, move on from like the like previous phase of life into the next phase, which is of course easier said than done because, like I said, how can you do so when, you're cheated on? Like it's hard, but obviously people who do choose to do so, that's their business, and those who don't. But yeah, it's just like wow, like it's I yeah, like Beyonce's such a strong woman for, putting up with what she has put up with because, like she does not deserve it at all. Like she deserves so much better. Like, she like has been put through hell and back and it's like, wow, like all the people that have done her dirty, it's like, what the hell are you thinking? Like this is like you put her through all this pain and for what? Like you're you're wild. But yeah, Beyonce, she deserves the world and yeah, that's what I gotta say.
Exactly. Daniel's next.
Okay, so for me, this song, I do agree with you, Jay. I feel like this is really a turning point for the album a lot. She really said that I'm gonna put the worst song right now, and
Oh
it's
my god.
not gonna be for everyone's taste,
I mean,
but
yeah,
it's
it
gonna
is
be
yeah,
yeah,
I
it's
don't
gonna be
disagree with
something.
that.
Yeah, she really said, I'm gonna just pick a random song. We're gonna see how it does, blah blah, blah. And it failed as it should. I don't know what this was. This was demonic level to another level that I had not experienced in my life.
Oh my god.
I don't
Not
get this
demonic.
song. I don't understand why it's here. I really don't. Compared to all the other songs, this is just a weird track to have, and she barely sings on it as well. Like I don't
Yeah,
know,
that
this
is
is
true. Yeah, I
right.
can
So
I can see that. Yeah.
clearly, like I'm listening to a Beyonce album. I'm not listening to someone else right now.
Yeah, I
She
can
could have
see
made it
that.
longer for if it was a collab. But yeah, this was interesting for me. Not my favorite off the album.
Yeah,
One
I
of the
can see your
worst.
points. I can see your points. Yeah, definitely ranks toward the bottom. For me as well, like I said, I really just try to think about it as like a transitional moment. It definitely really is, and like kind of Jay was saying and stuff, like, before I think she's really like processed her pain and like what she's been through and how she's feeling about the entire thing. There's like a whole arc that happens. And then this, like, forward, like, how am I going to move forward with this relationship and just like sonically from Sandcastles going into freedom, it's a nice bridge in between it. So when I think of it that way, I'm like, I can see it, but I completely understand, Daniel, with what you're saying. Like, why did it need to be on there? I don't really need it, but I'll take it for what it is. I guess that's what I can say. Next up, we will have Cozy.
It is hard. How y'all don't like Forward?
Because there's better songs on the album.
Well, it's not
Wake
really
it up,
meant to be a song though. Like it's like an interlude. Like,
and that's why it's bad.
oh, wait a minute, because you don't come from the era of Janet, the interlude queen, honey.
I love Janet's interludes, but this beyond. Let's not compare this interlude with Janet's great interludes, please.
Yeah,
Let's
because
not.
y'all calling it a song. It's not a song. It's an interlude.
And it's still bad.
What's bad about it?
Great
If you would
gowns,
have
beautiful
listened to
gowns.
when James Blake paid the entire
Say it, Jay.
if you would have listened to when James played the entire song, it's not nothing compared to just this. And I feel like it was very fitting. That's why I said 3-track run to go from Love Drought to Sandcastles to Forward, because we're literally making that transition from rage, frustration, betrayal to we're gonna forgive, we're gonna mend, we're gonna work it out together. And I feel like this was kind of just like, yeah, like I don't know, I loved Ford ever since I first heard it. And like, the host said, like we literally, or no, I think it was, no, it's both of y'all, Michaela too, to where she said we get these random ass collaborations and it doesn't seem like it'll make sense, but then you hear it and it sounds seamless and beautiful. And
Exactly. And you got to
I
have a lot
loved
of
it.
trust in her to be able to pull that off, and she does every
Exactly.
time.
Even
It's
if it's only a
nice.
minute and 19 seconds, it's okay. We'll take it. I don't even feel
Yeah,
like it's
but
that long. I'm
Yeah,
giving
it
her
when
doesn't
it
more.
run on too long, so I'll take that. Some people call stuff like an interlude or whatever, like that kind of video. It's like a 5 minute song. An interlude is not 5 minutes. Like, let's be for real. So it doesn't go on too long. So I can kind of forgive it for that, to be honest.
yeah, when you put
There
it
you
in like
go.
the
The theme of
context
forgiveness.
that
Love that.
when you put forward in the context that it's like a transitional period between Love Drought Sandcastles, I can understand what you mean of how like it fitting to be on the album. I can
Right.
understand when you put it like that, I can understand it. But I
Because we
still
have
don't
to.
get the song. I'm gonna give the song its once, but I still don't get it.
See, and that's what I love about these spaces is like everyone sharing their opinions and people being like, I didn't see it that way. Let me give it another try. I love stuff like that. I think it's so cool to hear like why you go so hard for it. I think
I
Guadalupe's
agree.
next.
Yeah, so just it's kind of different the way I saw it. I like the sentiment from when they say best foot forward just in case to when she says, now we're going to hold doors open for a while. Now we can be open for a while. So those were the lyrics that stood out for me, and that's the part of the song that I liked about it.
Yeah, I can definitely appreciate that for sure. And I love everyone's different pieces on the song and stuff. It's definitely deeper than, you think about it off first listen, maybe. Any final thoughts on the song? Or are we going to move on to the next one? All right, now we are going to move on to track number 10, Freedom featuring Kendrick Lamar. All right, so my thoughts on this song, a very powerful piece, especially for the Black community. And I think there's just like so many reasons like why on that I can't really formulate my thoughts, but if you know, you know. That's what I can say on that. And I just really love the power with her vocals as well. And I think that's like a really powerful moment in terms of that. I really appreciate the production and just like how grandiose it is and like how fitting it is. I think that that's really cool about it. I love the lyrical sentiments on this as well. I really like Kendrick's verse. I think it fits nicely. So a really great piece on the album. I think it's a good one.
Yeah, okay, so my thoughts on Freedom. I've always really enjoyed this song. Yeah, definitely gravitated towards it the first time that I listened to it. And yeah, no, like I love how anthemic this song is, especially, for like Black women, because I've heard a lot of Black women that resonate with this song and, feel empowered by, like the like urge to, break free of the like, boxes that, society places on them. Like it's just
Yes, that's so important.
it's so important, like, that Black women get to have an anthem like representation through
Yeah,
Beyonce.
definitely, definitely. I was just thinking about this, but something that's really unserious to me is the fact that Sabrina Carpenter did a live performance of this song. I don't know what was being thought when we got up on the stage and saying out of all Beyonce songs, Freedom, a song for the Black community. But you know what? I have no ill will towards the woman. I actually think it's like really, really funny, but I just had to put that piece in. So yeah, no hate. It's just funny to me. I think
I never did.
Daniel will be
That's
next.
interesting.
She didn't even sound good as well. I love Sabrina and all, but like I don't know who set her up there, but they set her up
They
bad.
tried.
Yeah, she should just stick to Disney Channel.
Please, not Disney Channel.
She's weak.
Not
She
enough
just
on the
needs to
Disney
go
Channel yet.
away.
Okay, so Freedom. I actually really like the song. I really do. Kendrick's verse is probably my favorite part of it. I feel like I don't know. There's just his flow is so good, and like the way he rhymes the word. I love it. I love his part in the song. And also that BET performance, 8 down. Love it. Love it. Love it.
Period. Next up's Cozy.
Okay, let me just try to wrap it up in one breath and culminate this shit. But I loved what it did. Like definitely for the Black community, for my Black women. But I also loved how there were so many people that because you have to think like I've seen this, performed live amongst all different types of races and backgrounds and generations, and how people just picked apart. And that's why I think Beyonce can be just like a lot of things for everybody. She can be the superhero. She can be the astronaut. She can be the fucking alien superstar, like whip, whip. But it's just a matter of like, she's a lot of shit from a lot of people. And with this song, it just went to go out on a limb to prove that. Not that she had anything to prove, but it's a matter of all of the shit that was going on that year, especially. I just loved how she just spoke from her perspective and her point of view because just the background of just that visual, that song. I remember going out, like that was like one of my first, I don't really ever like go out and like protest, but I remember that was like the first time they did like the Women's March in LA. And I was out there for that. And my sign, a lot of people didn't get it, but like I kind of did like an ode to that song. And it was just super dope because this can mean anything to anybody. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be Black, but the simple fact that you know who it's for, but you stand by us, you
Exactly.
stand
Exactly.
alongside us. I love that just aspect of it, and I love to hear people's different perspectives because just because it's directed to certain people doesn't mean somebody else doesn't pick up the message along the way. And this song for me was, it definitely don't fit in my top three, top five, but you know, she fits, she fits, she purchased.
Sitting pretty.
Uh, right. I'm like, you can kick that fucking water on me any goddamn day because that performance of it just sends chills down my spine. And I just, yeah, it really drove what the message of the album was, which was really just freedom, to be honest. Like, liberation from bad relationships, liberation from just shackles of anything, poverty and racism and just like ageism and sexism, all of that. Like it just really spoke and touched on a lot of things, and this song really drove it home. And yeah, I love this. I love this. I love this song. This song is for everybody. You know it's for, but it's
Period.
for everybody.
Period. Yeah, I appreciate your piece on that and stuff. And yeah, it's just really important, you know, whenever you have the kind of capital that Beyonce does and stuff to, you know, use that for good. And she's done that in so many different ways, you know, like her organizations and stuff, and just like, you know, using it to spread her, you know, thoughts in so many different matters and stuff. So I really appreciate her doing, you know, that in general. And yeah, something for the Black community, like I was saying. So it definitely is very empowering in that aspect, and just the entire like intensity of the song in the best way. Like it's just really cinematic moment. So I'll say that piece about it. Next up is Guadalupe.
So yeah, my take on it is I like when she says I'm gonna keep running because a winner doesn't quit on themselves. I get the whole meaning of the support for the black community, but those lyrics really stood out for me.
Period. Period. Any other thoughts on this song, or are we good to move on? All right. Well, looks like we're gonna be good to move on to track number 11, All Night. Alright, so my thoughts on the song. Definitely one of my favorite songs off of this album. I just think that it's really stunning with her vocal delivery. I really like the instrumentation on it as well. I can appreciate you know, the entire production of it as well. I love the lyrical sentiments. And it's just a really nice piece. I think it would have worked really nicely as just a closer for the album, because you think this is it, and then boom, Formation comes and hits you. And I really do like Formation. Why do we throw that on after the song? Like, you couldn't have put it higher in the track listing. Like, it just doesn't jive well the best with me, even though I really like that song. But this is a really wonderful piece. I think everything ties together nicely. Definitely one of my favorite songs on the album. I will say that for sure. And I really like her vocal textures going back. Whenever she said, "I'll trade your broken wings for mine," and just like the textures there, it's just a really nice piece. So those are my thoughts.
Oh my, okay. Not me speaking to the mic
You're cutting out so bad, Jay. You're
and
gonna have to
my,
step down and come back up for me,
but
babes.
anyways,
We'll have Daniel in
yeah.
between.
Okay, so I thought I was the only one who felt that way about Formation being the closing track. I love Formation. I think it's a great song, but All Night definitely would have been a great closer, especially in like the way she's telling the story through the album. You know, like when she says, when she's like, reconciliation has been healed, you know, this is the song where like they're finally back together and she's forgave him in any way that she could. And I feel like that would have been just the best way to close it, but I'll take what I'm given at this point.
Please,
I
now I'll take
love
what
All
I'm
Night.
given.
I love All Night. I think it's a great pop ballad. I feel like if she had promoted it, I think it could have been like a bigger success. But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I really love it. Lyrical content is so good as well. And, you know, that video from the film is really good.
Definitely, definitely. Next up, we'll have Cozy. Jay said he's gonna restart his phone.
That I agree with both of y'all. Should have been a close. Like maybe I love Formation down, but Formation should have just been strictly a single off the shit, and then we should have just had this as its own entity. But I love Formation, what it's done, not just like what it's done, what it's doing, what it's continuing to do. But All Night
Exactly.
for me is the closer. That's why I said I had a problem because she put Daddy at the end of the day just in love. Why would you? I'm not even about to get on that. But her sequencing, I don't know who be in her little camp, but Columbia Records, we need to have a conversation because there's no way All Night should have not been literally the nighttime of the song. Like the entire fucking record. Like All Night
Exactly.
for me is just so, that's one of the songs that I have told a lot of people that I just really want her to sing live for, like, in general. The next time I see her, she'll be, you know, Rainy World Tour. But it's like I need to hear All Night. Like All Night for me is one of the only songs that you can scrap 1+1, you can scrap Love on Top, you can scrap
Not
um
scrap love on top. Whoa, we going
right?
insane. Bring that
Baby,
back,
I don't know
babes.
if them
Bring
keys
it
is
back.
gonna key. I don't know if
Listen,
them keys is
one thing
gonna
about
key.
Miss Beyonce, as a vocalist, she's only getting better on time. I mean, look what she
No,
did
she
with
is, but
Dubai.
she probably gonna make us sing it, so she ain't got to go up there.
Oh no, she'll. I mean, what she did in Dubai. I'm sorry. Eight,
Oh, with
eight,
the
eight.
oh, the
Exactly.
countdown.
Exactly. With Countdown, with Drunken Love,
Drunken
like
love,
no, she's only
like
getting better at time. She will be tearing it up. Believe that. If we taking any
I know,
songs
but
off
we
the
can
set
just
list,
scrap some
we gonna
songs.
leave
Is what
that.
I'm
Yeah,
saying.
Love on Top, like, come
We,
on, that's a classic.
Scrap 1+1. Scrap 1+1. I don't need to hear
Is
that song again.
you?
Scrap If I Were a Boy. Let's keep Love on Top. Let's keep moments. Weddings,
if
graduations,
I
funerals.
were
We
a boy,
will. Yup. Yup.
yes,
I've had enough.
baby deliveries. If I were a boy, does not need to be in the room, but I'm just
Get
saying,
it
like
again. Get it again.
Period.
she
But
gonna,
Period.
anyways,
she gonna make us sing half of them songs. But I'm saying with all night, that song is like just such a fucking, chef's kiss to the end of just like a great night. Period. Like, and I can sit here and I
Exactly.
can love on you, I can talk to you, I can feel on you, I can rub you all night. And I know everybody else want to touch up and fill up and rub up, but you're mine. You know what I'm saying? Like, and
Right,
that song
teeth.
for me is just like, and the way she's performed it when she does that certain run, oh no, ooh, like I need to hear that. I need to hear that. Like that title performance. That's all I'm saying on that. That's the album closer for me. But we're gonna get into formation after this. But all night is just I can listen to it all night. No pun intended.
Ray, you
nice,
need to
very
come up to
nice.
the
Exactly.
mic,
Exactly.
Ray. Ray, you need to come up to the mic because you had your
All
thumbs
right.
down and then thumbs up.
Exactly.
We need to hear why you put the
Before
thumbs
Exactly.
Ray
down.
comes to
Let's
the
go.
mic,
Really
Right,
quickly, I
let's
need
bring
to
him up.
say I will. I have one piece to say really quickly, Jay, and then I will let you go, I promise. Okay, so really quickly, someone brought this up, but why did she say my torturer became my remedy? Like that is an insane lyric. My torturer
Girl, this
became my
whole
remedy.
album it literally is Stockholm syndrome because you are
Oh,
just going
not
back.
Stockholm syndrome. That's crazy.
It is because she keep going back to the nigga that just abused her
Not
ass, and
Stockholm Syndrome.
I'm not with it. Like I do not like it at all. But it makes for great content, great music. Like if you pick apart a lot of these lyrics in these songs, I'm like Beyonce, really? Like okay, but I'm gonna sing it though.
She
I
loves him
guess
bad.
she was down bad, honey. But them vocals was ooh, mm. Like you said, textured. Because I love a good call and response, Beyonce. We've been getting that ever since we was
Yeah.
in DC. She said,
We love
and
it. We
true
love it.
love never has to lie. And
yes.
she said, repeat that line to me and sing it like you're like, ooh, that girl right
Exactly.
there.
The details are so important.
It's just
Now
semantics.
Jay can have his piece.
He's so speechless because All Night is too powerful.
So fine, yeah. Before my internet cuts out, let me give my quick thoughts on All Night. Love how the song is so groovy and it has like a nice little lovey kind of vibe, and yeah. But with like the lyrics, I'm like, ooh, it's so the best way possible. I'm like, girl, wow, like so on brand for her as a Scorpio moon, like literally. This is a Scorpio Moon type of song. If I've seen it, it's
Scorpio
wild.
Rise period.
Scorpio placements, the Scorpio community gets to eat. But such a great song. I've always loved it. The first listen, and yeah, no, it's just wow. Like it's an interesting way to end the album. How like after going through the disappointment and pain that you experienced. That specifically Beyonce experienced. In the beginning, she's able to come out on the other side, determined to keep going and keep strong with the love. And it's like wow, like it's so crazy to see Beyonce on the other side, like because like if other people were in a situation like especially I don't know how other people would handle it because I don't know if I would be able to come out on the other side if I went through what she did like that. She's such a strong woman, like really strong, like it's really understated like how much strength and vulnerability she has. Like that's all I gotta say.
Period. And then any other thoughts on this song that anyone wanted to share before I move on?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I agree with Anastasia when the Beyonce goes trade your broken wings for mine, and then the other lyrics that I liked was you go deep, you touch my mind, baptize your tears, dry your eyes, and I also like when she says that true love breathes salvation back into me, and then I miss you, and that's my take on it.
Exactly. All right. Next on, we will move on to the 12th and final song on the album, which is going to be Formation. All right. So my thoughts on Formation, like I said, I think A few of us agree that All Night should have been the closer, would have worked more sonically, is what it is with that. With that being said, I actually really do enjoy Formation. I think it was like a really great song for it to release. Again, something for the Black community, something that was like really empowering to listen to. And it's just something, again, that is just like striking. It really grabs your attention immediately. And I love the way that the song builds up and just like the energy that you feel whenever you listen to it. That's, I think, what I love most about the song. I love the lyrics and just, how proud she is of being Black and stuff like that. And I think it's so beautiful the way that she shows that all the way out throughout her music and stuff like that. And yeah, anyone who's like, oh, I hate the Beyonce song so she talks about being Black, get away from me, like that is a Black woman, and I like that she's taking pride in that. And if you don't appreciate that, then don't listen to her music. Like, you think she's just never gonna talk about it? Like, let's be serious for a moment. Like, it's her piece. So I was really glad that she tapped into it with like that specific song. I love the production on it, I love the lyrics, I love the vocals, a fun piece. So yeah, I agree, like it should have been higher on the track listing, or it just shouldn't have been on the album, because I think the sentiments with this, it's kind of already explained with the song Freedom sonically, but I still do really like it. It's a good piece. So those are my thoughts.
Yeah, I love Formation, and I loved it so much when I heard it when it first came out. I was like, oh my gosh, this is like so iconic, groundbreaking. I love it. Love the music video, so good, and I love that Black people are feel so represented through this song, and like get feel empowered by this anthem for them. It's so beautiful, and it's very telling. Those that hate on Formation and hate on Lemonade, obviously, those people got lots of skeletons in their closet. Like it shouldn't go without saying. We shouldn't go without saying it. We're gonna be straight up, but just say it. Like, be for real. No, but for real, like, well, yeah, I do agree with Station. I would like to see Formation like sequenced a little earlier in the album and have All Night close out the album. I still love Formation and still appreciate it on the album and think it's great. And she should have won record, and come on.
Period. Next up, we will have Daniel.
Yeah, I mean everything you all said as well. I agree. The video eats down. She was bringing visuals in that she hasn't done before. I love it. I love this song. I think it's a great song for a lot of representation. And yeah, I feel like it was definitely a strong lead single. That she released from the album. And as we all said, I do wish that she put the song higher up on the album, because All Night would have been the perfect closer. But I'm fine with it. I still love Formation, and I think it's a cool song.
Exactly. It's something good to like get yourself hyped up to. Like, this song still knocks, and that's what like the most important part about it is, especially the part whenever she's like isolate, isolate. My sister loves that part. My sister single-handedly, like, I swear, she brought Slay back. Like, she started bringing it back to me, and I was like, we do not need to be bringing it back. Like, that's over. And then I swear everybody else I follow like started saying it, and now it's in my vocabulary. So I was a hater at first, but she brought it back around for me. But a really, really, really fun piece. So I will say that.
Yeah, because when you like listen to the song as well, like it really does get you hyped up, and in a
Yes.
certain way, like it does give you the same high that a lot of heroin addicts get when they like take heroin. Like it
Oh
brings it
my
back to another level.
god. This man is insane, y'all. Oh my god. Alright, next up we'll have Mariah.
Hi, so I love this song. Like, the pro-Black sentiment was just everything. Like, we always love to hear that in music. We just love it. And I especially love the nod to the Jackson 5. I just love things like that. She really said,
Yeah, it was a nice piece.
yeah, she really said, get information so I can give you information. I'm gonna tell you what I think, what I feel, and how it is. Okay, I'm gonna sound like a local, but I think this is my favorite song on the album. I just love it.
Period. Alright, next up we'll do Cozy.
This is my shit. I'm not gonna spend too long on it, but I think it was, like y'all said, the perfect lead single. It got everybody information at the Super Bowl. We only had 2 to 3 days to get ready for it to be at the Super Bowl.
The way everyone thinks that she performed at the Super Bowl that year, they don't even know it was Coldplay, because her and Bruno Mars ate them up. She tore it up on the stage. Like, let's be clear.
Gave us a little kick, a little punt, in the video. But
Period.
she kicked that goddamn leg up and still can get them red boots up. I don't know, just everything, like, big on lyricism, big on imagery, and just what she, always is continuing to do is just to put on for the Black people, and even how it's still being talked about to this day, how Lemonade just got referenced on The Simpsons. It's just, it goes to show, like,
Yes.
she's here to stay, period. And I just love that, we are living in that day and age of Beyonce and of the influence and that we can be under the influence. Like that's the girl. Like she's literally like that one, the only one, number one. There's no yeah, like I don't know. And that formation kind of just put
Period.
everybody who was, watching from afar, watching from behind, watching from the back, he put them on notice with that one. Like, yeah, baby, like, I love one like a Negro with like, flared up nostrils, not them, no offense to Michael because I love him down, but after Off the Wall, we didn't have what we had on the wall. So it's just like, I just loved how she just referenced that and the fact that Michael is one of her favorite artists, if not the favorite. Um, I just loved. I love how she had blue with her hair, all the shit she's been through with her as a baby. Like it was just very black ass, and I'm glad she just showed her ass literally because she was twirling on them haters and them albino.
Period.
It just yeah. Like it, I can sit here and say I don't like it as a closer. I still don't, but
Please.
it makes sense. It makes sense for the message she was trying to convey. That's all I'm just
Exactly.
saying. Yeah.
Yes, I can see that. Guadalupe, you want to go next?
Yeah, I just thought that I agree with Cozy that it was a good meaning. The meaning that the song had is a good closer for the album. I like when the song meant, especially how it ends with the lyric. It's kind of silly, but this is what stood out for me. Always stay gracious. That's the part that I like the most. And then she ends the quote with "But revenge is your paper." So that's my 2 cents.
Exactly, exactly. And one thing about Beyonce, she always stays gracious. All these people try to hate on Beyonce, say this and that, but Beyonce literally is one of the best artists of all time, one of the most influential, a legend as a singer, a performer. Like, she just really has it all. So I will say that piece. What you want to say, Daniel?
Okay, so personally, I just want to say the line where she's like, "When you fuck me good, I take his ass to Red Lobster." William Shakespeare could never.
Not Red Lobster. Oh my god.
Like,
No, that was.
she was getting a nice
Don't you remember
songwriting bag.
whenever Tyler Perry did like that like Medea thing on Netflix, and then like it was like a
Yes,
parody of that basically? I was like, oh my
so
god,
good.
that
Oh yeah,
was
and then from what I
crazy.
heard, like like after the song came out, apparently like
Mhm.
the sales for Webster went up specifically. So awesome, like Beyonce's impact.
Oh my god, that's really
Yeah,
funny.
honestly, and I think
Mhm.
obviously I've always loved Red Lobster because I'm a seafood kind of guy, but especially after
I
hearing the
hate
song, I'm like,
seafood
okay,
so bad. I do.
Right,
I'm
Anastasia?
sorry for
It's
you.
disgusting. I know. It's
Anyways,
Get it
yeah,
again.
disgusting.
but yeah, no, it
Exactly.
was so
Dana always
fun,
will.
like that I got Beyonce validating my love for Red Lobster. So thank
Exactly.
you, Queen Bee.
Any final thoughts on this song? All
I'm
right.
gonna need that on the set list. I'm gonna need that because
Yeah, that would be cute.
I need to
Oh, it's
hit
gonna be
kick
on the
with her
set
real
list.
quick.
Yeah, it would be a nice piece. I could definitely see that as well. And you did mention the fact that The Simpsons kind of did a parody of this album, and I'm so glad that you brought that up because I wanted to talk about that really quick and I completely forgot about it. So thank you. But that was really, really cool. It really was. I love like a good like moment like that and stuff, and just like the callbacks to like the actual album and stuff like that. I thought that was like a nice piece. So I really did appreciate that. So I'm happy that you
Simpsons
talked about
kind of
that.
ate her up in a way.
Please. They really
Like
did eat. It was really
they
funny.
did their own little interpretation of like "Hold Up, Pray Catch Me, Love Drought." Oh,
It was really good. I
That
love the
fact,
fact that she's like referenced in media so often, and I saw this thread saying like she's probably like the most referenced
right?
like
And it's
artist
like
of all time in
big,
media.
big, like like networks like
Exactly.
SNL and Simpsons,
Yes.
like people that have been around for the entire album. This
Yes.
for like a long time, and this album has only been
Mhm.
around for like
Yes.
so much time, but it's made this impact, and it's just like it doesn't matter about the numbers, it doesn't matter about the chart
Exactly.
toppings or anything of that nature. It's a matter of
Making
impact,
a work of art
right?
that's going
And
to
impact,
stand the test of time. That's what's most important. Because,
exactly.
yes, it's nice to have an album that does well commercially. Yes, we know this, but I mean, whenever all that fades away, people are listening back to it 20 years later. Is the album still good? That's what matters to me the most. Is the album still gonna, do something for me sonically? Is it gonna hit me in a certain way? Is there something I can still grasp from this album 20, 30 years down the line? And this album, definitely has aged well for its time. So, definitely that piece there. I did put it on the Jumbotron if you guys haven't seen it. I thought that was really cool if you guys want to watch that or something. So I will have that piece. And now let's kind of just tap into our overall thoughts on this album. So first off, I want to say I love the album cover. I love the aesthetics. I love a good green aesthetics. I never be getting that from artists, and like I love the aesthetic for it. So I will say that I have it on vinyl. It's beautiful. I love love, the yellow vinyl, and I believe there's like a how to make lemonade like box set or something for this album that I've seen, which is really cool. So again, very detail oriented. It's the Virgo, so I really appreciate her attention to detail and stuff. I think that's cool. So on the album itself, definitely one of Beyonce's best albums in my personal opinion. I would probably have this like top 3 in her discography, honestly. I just really think that she evolved so much, and I feel like she does that every album. Like she puts on an album and you look at that last album, you're like, wow, this is great, but she like already topped this. Like she's on another level. She keeps reinventing herself. She keeps showing her versatility in the genres and stuff, and it's just she never gets complacent. She's always trying new stuff. She's always pushing herself forward artistically, and I feel like that's very, very important. I think a lot of times when artists get a certain amount of time into their career, they just like get too comfortable and they just start making stuff, and it's like it's not really good. You're not challenging yourself. You're not pushing things forward, and Beyonce has never done that. She's always trying to do something different. So I really appreciated that piece about the album. I will say that. I appreciated how personal it was and like her vulnerability, because one thing about Beyonce, she's very private, and as she should be, as a public figure, people don't understand that like there's boundaries, and just because Beyonce wants to go out and be an artist and stuff like that, that doesn't mean that she's not entitled to like her privacy and stuff. All Beyonce owes us at the end of the day is good music and good performances, and that's what she's going to give every single time. And yeah, so I will have that piece, but I appreciated her vulnerability on this album about like the infidelity. I think it takes like a lot of strength to do that, and showing a different side of herself to us that we hadn't previously seen before. I love the vulnerability in the lyrics and like that piece, and just so many different stages. Like I said, this album really is like an arc of her talking about, I pray that you catch me, and then just, like the rage of all that into the forgiveness of it, and, ultimately the reconciliation. I think it's beautifully done. Love the sequencing. Like we already said, All Night should have been the closer, but hey, we can make a playlist. It's okay. Vocals, amazing. Love the vocal layering, everything that's going on there. Production was amazing. Love the songwriting on this. Some of her best. One of the best albums of the 2010s decades. Deserves all the flowers that it gets. Visuals were absolutely breathtaking. So I definitely will have that piece about the album, and I really do love it. It's aged really gracefully.
Yeah, my thoughts on the album overall. Such a great album. For me, top 2 in her discography. Like, honestly, and in terms of what I think her number 1 album is, like, it's really fighting with Renaissance at this point. Like, oh my god, like, I love both albums so much. I can't choose which one's the number 1 album, but I'll dip. I don't know how to speak today, but yeah, I'll keep you guys updated on which one I think is my number 1 later. But yeah, they're in the top 2 for sure. It's just like groundbreaking, innovative bodies of work. Yeah, like it's aged so phenomenally. It's not like something was like, oh, we can tell this was made in 2016, and like, oh, it sounds like it's time and should stay in the time. No, like it's transcended time. Like 7 years later, like,
and it's really hard to do that with an album and not have it sound dated. Like her
mind. Yeah, and then I love how she was exploring the complexities of a relationship, and infidelity, and how it's not so like clear cut, like, oh, you cheat on me, fuck
black
you,
and
I'm
white.
yeah, like, you cheat on me, fuck you, I'm gone, bye, and keep it pushing, like, or like, yeah, it's like she really navigated every emotion she was feeling, and every like trial and tribulation that she was going through. Like, I appreciated the vulnerability she had throughout the album, because I can tell it was not easy to open up. Like, so for whatever bits she did open up, like, for all throughout the whole album, like, we appreciate it, because it's just like, it's not easy going through that, especially as a public figure, like in real time. Like, I like sympathize with her a whole lot, and my heart is with her. And yeah, I just love how she was able to navigate that, and display all the themes in an album. And of course, specifically, songs where she mentions her pride for being black. Like, it's so beautiful that black people and black women get to feel so represented through this album, and feel like their voices heard through this album, and like certain songs. Like, it's so meaningful, and it's so beautiful that Beyonce's able to do that. And yeah, like, overall, love the production of the album. Like, so awesome. I love the different sounds she experimented with. And yeah, like, I hold this album in such high regards. And Scammies, y'all are going to hell for snubbing her. I know we already said it, but I have to reiterate it again, just for a good another time. Yeah, just to do it one more time.
Exactly. I appreciated how you talked about like there's the complexity and the infidelity and stuff like that. It's easy, outside looking in to say like, oh, do one thing or do another thing and stuff like that. But there is complexity in that, and I appreciated, the way she was able to show her emotions all the way through that, and like I said, be very vulnerable and have that piece. So I definitely will have that point. Next up we'll do Daniel.
Everything you all said, I always agree with, but yeah, this album I feel like is one of the greatest albums of all time, one of the greatest albums of the
Period.
21st century by far. Um, as Anastasia said, it's really hard to create an album in a time when, not a lot of people really make albums that will last for like 20 years down the road or whatever. And she really achieved it with this album, I think. I appreciate her for being vulnerable, honest. I'm sure if she had her way, the entire thing would have been kept under wraps. But I love that she really decided to be honest with, all of us and bringing us to the story of how she was getting over the cheating and whatever else. And I love that the entire album, is a journey, and you really start to you start to go through the same emotions that she had gone through, all of it, the hurt, the pain, the anger, the forgiving even. And yeah, I love it. Love Drought is my favorite song off the album. And yeah, I love this album. Top three in her discography for me.
Period. Period. Next up, we'll do Cozy.
It's not gonna be top three, so I'm sorry to say that, but it is number four, so that's her number. So I feel like it has some importance.
Yeah, I mean, we all have like varying opinions on her discography. I'm sure we would all rank it differently. So interesting.
I'm telling you, it's always gonna be four B-Day, then Rennie, and then we get into Lemonade because I always
I
love a good.
respect that. I
Four
really
gets too
respect
much.
that.
Come on
Yeah,
now,
I
we can cut
respect
into that
the
in a
four
different
Wait,
space.
wait, wait.
top
So
But
wait.
three.
So what's your number three?
my number three is Renaissance.
Oh, okay, got you. Okay, that's
Yeah, I
respectable.
Renaissance is
respect that.
three.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
and
Lemonade is number four simply because it is a movement, and I feel like it kind of is like kind of crazy how like numbers work because that's her number and that's where I rank it and that's where I put it and that's how long like it just has such an ever presence about it. But Lemonade for me, I just loved what it did for all of us, to be honest. Like with any album that comes out from Beyonce, like it just draws everybody, especially if you're an admirer of her. Even the haters, it draws you near to them sometimes. It draws you together, and everything from the formation drop to the Super Bowl performance to the tour announcement to just Coachella, Beachella, like everything just kind of kept going, and I feel like that's a ride that like will just never really get off, to be honest. And Lemonade was just further like just cementation, like cementing her status of just being this like I don't even want to call it just one thing, but if I could wrap it into one word,
Legend, icon, visionary.
right? I can't even give you one word. Just like this, just entity, that's always gonna be right there. It just Lemonade for me was very much um, solidifying and grounding, and it really just put a lot of things in perspective for me personally, just because like we had never seen her, or I'm not gonna say never seen her, but we hadn't seen it in a while, to where she was just so stripped and so just kind of just like just bare, and it was so refreshing and so nice to see, because we didn't know what we were gonna get. We didn't know what we were gonna get out of it, but the simple fact that we got all of this to be able to talk about this to today and to talk about it for years to come, that's all she's like ever wanted. And the fact that she literally speaks and manifests all of her things into existence, it's just it's very inspiring. Lemonade is literally, yeah, we'll be talking about this next year and the year after. Like, so yeah, just thank you for this space and for us to just be allowed to talk freely and open. And yeah, like Lemonade is just ah, ooh, yeah.
Period. I loved hearing your piece on the album. Very, very cool. I will say, appreciate your insight. Guadalupe, you want to go next?
Yeah, just keep this short. I like the topics that she touched upon, and I thought it's a good album. So I agree with you guys.
Period. Any other thoughts you guys wanted to say about the album overall?
Yeah. So okay. So I was doing some digging right throughout this whole album, space, Anastasia, and
Come
it
on, philosopher.
surprised right, and it surprised me on a few things, but one, it was the top number three selling album of 2016. It's now like three times triple platinum. The other thing that I learned was Formation was the first single since Drunken Love that hit the top 10 on the Billboard Hot 100 charts. And so I thought that was impressive considering it wasn't the Drunken Love or the Beyonce album. And Lemonade was not a really top 40 type album. It was more rhythmic and urban and R&B. And so for it to go top 10, it showed um, uh, how strong of an artist she was without
Period.
one of the biggest type of formats that would play a song. So that was number 10. Or number 10. Sorry, the next single was number 12 on the Billboard Hot 100. Hold Up, the next single ended up at 13 on the Billboard, and those two are still high, impressive numbers for an album that wasn't promoted and really pushed to top 40. Freedom
Exactly.
was 35, and then All Night was 38. So, but what even more impressive, which I know people are talking about, like Renaissance. It even surprised me more that that "Break My Soul" was the first Hot 100 single for Beyonce since "Single Ladies" 14 years later. So that's just
And the fact that she didn't even promote Break My Soul either, like no performances, no interviews, like that's crazy.
yeah, but that also shows the power of it being a popular type song that would be played on all formats and not including top 40. But it also shows too the difference between 2016 and 2023 on how streaming and downloads and stuff played that much of a factor in the charts too. So I mean, this is a solid album. I love Cozy that you said B Day and Four, because those two are probably two of my three top from her as well. Um, so, um,
It's
but
nothing like
over.
a dance album for me. I'll just say that from Beyonce personally, to be like, I remember being 10 years old and being just like kind of not rediscovering B, but like getting back into like my hip hop, like R&B, and just like, that bag right there, because like that's when we were buying CDs. Okay, so
That's right.
to have that, like I remember I bought As I Am from Alicia Keys. Another great album, streamed that as well. But that album, B Day, the deluxe edition, you have Get Me Bodied Extended, you have Freaking Dress, you have Sugar Mama, you have Kitty Cat. Like, that for me just literally, like, it brings me back to Renaissance, which is Renaissance is right behind it, because it makes Renaissance is kind of like deeper meaning, making you just as Lemonade was like an ode to falling in love and having that be heartbroken. Renaissance is, I feel like, a falling back in love with yourself and getting back
Oh,
into.
that's a really good point.
Yeah, so that's why I put Renaissance right behind B Day, because B Day is what made me just kind of really like fall in love with just like living out loud and doing the damn thing and doing the extras and doing the, boom, cax, booms. Like, yeah, so yeah. That's always going to be in my top two. Like, B Day is not removing itself. I'm sorry. Yeah.
So real for having B-Day top 3, because a lot of people like to plan that album face, but definitely hit after hit after hit. And we do love to see that. So I will have that piece. And then my mutual Mariah actually suggested to have like a piece talking about like her visuals from this album, and also talking about like favorite outfits or favorite performances that she's done. And we kind of like touched on that all the way throughout the space, but I said I would do like a dedicated section on that. And there's a lot to talk about with that. So if you guys wanted to share thoughts on that.
Oh, right now?
Yeah.
I feel like the costuming, the wardrobe was just very, very, very like gaudy, like very southern, very just like what she's always given us. It kind of just drew me back to the DC, like, original days when Tina was styling them. Like, it just
She always ate with that too. The outfits made
okay,
sense. It made sense.
okay.
It looked nice. It was good for the time, the Y2K, like eight.
Right, we about to sit here and ball on the budget, but you about to get fed though.
Exactly.
And I just loved. I would have to say, like, probably like my favorite performance from. I mean, my favorite costume from that era. Um, Ooh, that's rough. Actually, now that I think about it, I will say one that stood out to me was I loved she kind of had like a latex situation going on with Formation World Tour, where it was like kind of like a beige like nude skin suit, and she performed it Crazy in Love. I forget what city, but I loved all of her choices for this era because it was just still big, but it still fit down to the body because she's gonna give us a leotard. Um, it was nice, and I love the suits. Like this era for me, we really some of us take it for granted, but Formation was that was the era we ate down like ooh.
Period. Anything else you wanted to say in regards to the visuals, like for this era, that you might have not get to talk about earlier?
I think they grew a lot since like self-titled. I think with self-titled, she obviously started to um she started to like do she started to like put her visual like aspects and all on a like 10, but like with this she brought it to a 100, and like she went out of the gate and like wanted to create a film that obviously would
A work of
last test of
art.
time. Yeah, like a work of art, and like bring the album to life. And I feel like she achieved that a lot. I feel like some of the visuals from the Lemonade era are some of her strongest, especially with like Black is King as well.
So
But yeah, I also
where do y'all rank self-titled?
The bottom, like bottom three. For me personally, self-titled, the way people feel about self-titled is the way that I
Agreed.
feel about Renaissance. I think I can appreciate it for what it is, but I go for more individual songs off of that album, not the album as a whole. Like I remember
You?
before I listened to it, I listened to this like Pentatonics like kind of like
Mashup.
cover of it, and I really loved the arrangements of it. And so when I go back to the album, I feel kind of disappointed. Like, the arrangements Pentatonics did were so much better. I love Jealous. I love Rocket. I love Blow.
Hmm,
So I really do. There's songs that I really love, but as an album, I don't like listen to it front to back. Ever really. It's
thank
just
you.
individual
I
songs
have
for me
not
personally.
out of all the
same.
albums, I'll probably not well, no, because I did just revisit I Am Sasha Fierce, but that's ranked at the bottom. But I don't
Real.
I don't really do self-titled like that. That's not really my girl. Especially the simple fact that for streaming we only have the more only option, and I'm not about to listen to that fucking Pharrell remix of Blow. I'm not doing it.
Real.
I'm not
Yeah, it's
fucking
just
doing it.
every time I talk about my thoughts on self-titled, people crucify me, but I must speak my truth. Like Renaissance, like for me, it's just so much more replay value. It's just stronger for me. I love how groundbreaking it was, like, surprise releasing it and stuff, and how experimental it was, and the weight that it holds in her discography. I get how influential it was. I really respect that. But it's never been one of my favorite Beyonce
Right.
albums.
It changed the game with a digital drop, but we need to drop
Period.
that. We need to drop that. Like I need you
Exactly.
to get back to I loved how it literally brought Beyonce out to Beyonce. Like I love how it's self-titled and we don't even
Mhm.
call it Beyonce half of the time. We just call it self-titled. Boom boom bam.
Revolutionary. Period.
Eh,
Yeah.
Girl, you need to give B Day a little bit more tens. I need you to
Yeah.
be a little bit more four. We never even got a performance of Start Over. Rennie is cute. Love her down.
Rennie is a
Mhm.
cultural reset. What give her
Yeah, it is.
10?
I want to do more spaces for Beyonce in the future. Like, I don't know if I'll do it for album anniversaries and just in general, but this is like the first one I've done on her specifically, and it's a lot of fun. So, I will
Yeah, I
say
love
that.
this album space, and yeah, y'all like said my thoughts on the visuals, so there's really nothing new I
I
want to
love
add. But
y'all's
Yeah.
takes on it. I love y'all's
yes,
opinions.
although
And I
Yes.
would
Love is
love
one
to
of
Yes.
my
do
favorite
this
music
about
videos on the album.
like
I don't
a
know if
lot
it's
of
a I don't know if it's a cliche choice to have, but I really love the music video. I love the yellow dress that she's wearing. I love how she like smashes
Mhm.
the car with the baseball bat, and then it has like the
Yes.
water like flow from the building, and then there's an
oh
explosion
yeah,
behind
Hold
her.
Up is just
Mhm.
definitely a moment in itself.
It is.
I
Really?
would have to say like my favorite video from that. Uh I
Right?
don't know. I just really like the simplicity of All Night. Like it's just very
Mm,
simple. Like it's not
Yeah.
too
right.
much. And because that's how you go with this album. I feel like with this album a lot, we didn't need too much choreo. We didn't need too much structure. Not too much 5, 6, 7, 8. It was just a matter of like this is like a kind of like an ode, a love letter to you
Mhm.
guys, and
Yes.
it was really tangible and heartfelt. But with Renaissance, baby, I
Mm-hmm.
need the girls, I need the gays, I need all of them motherfuckers on stage. Like,
Period.
to
Period.
the stage. Like, I
Yeah,
need all of it.
I definitely agree with that. Any final thoughts on this album that you guys want to say before I wrap it up?
What I want to say in conclusion is, Beyonce, great job with Lemonade. Like, you changed the game. Like, thank you for what you did. And like, this album will stand the test of time until the end of time. And yeah, like, this is just such a great body of work. I have nothing else I want to say besides that.
Yeah,
Lemonade is
piggyback.
Lemonade is like the way people feel about the Bible is the way I feel about Lemonade.
Please.
Brought back concept albums as a whole. It's a spiritual, like a therapist should be recommending Lemonade for like your spiritual journey and like your healing process more than like talking to someone, because I feel like it really gives you much more clarity on a lot of situations.
I think there's so much to be gained like from this album. Like, when you listen to something and then you listen to it like years later and like, oh, I didn't see that part, or oh, I'm gaining it, something from it. That's what I think you can get from this album. And I love when stuff like grows with you because there was so much thought put into it in the first place that you're like finding new parts of it. And even like I said, there's so much thought put into just the packaging of this album and everything else of the album and the visuals and direction, all that stuff. Just shout out to everyone who worked on this album. It's a really nice piece.
Yeah, and just it speaks to like literally not the fact that the lyrics are like true poetry, but like it's literal poetry from Morrison Shire. Like, shout out to her. Like, that's kind of the inspiration that Beyonce got from it, and it just rang true. Like, it put it into musical format, and it just always, that's what I always feel about Beyonce's albums. Like, they're musical for, I mean, they're like musicals. Like, they kind of just, you go along through it and she just brings it out in like a musical act. And I was just so glad to be alive during Lemonade, to be in that era, because that's one of the few eras that we'll finally like start getting. But Lemonade is just, yeah, it really was like, those specifically set out for a certain, demographic. It was for everybody, and I love that everybody has just lovely things to say. I really do, because it's crazy to think it's been like what, 6, 7 years, but here we are.
Exactly, exactly. So much was put into this album. I appreciate it all. But yeah, I think that's gonna be it for today's space on this album. Thank you guys so much for coming and sharing your opinions. I had a lovely time talking with you guys and just hearing everyone's perspective. So I will say that I want to host more spaces on Beyonce in general. So I will definitely do those. But I host spaces on other artists. Mariah is my fave. So I've done some spaces on her. I did a space on SZA's last album, SOS, and I will be doing more. I usually host a recorded space like once, twice a month on here, so definitely follow for more retweets, spread the word to everybody. I will re-upload this onto my YouTube channel and like clean it up a little bit just for simplicity. Hopefully in like the next few days. I will make a tweet and then sharing it. So if you guys want to retweet that and share it with other people as well, or replay it, it is recorded, so you guys can do that. But yeah, thank you guys so much for discussion. I deeply appreciate you guys, and have a
Yeah.
nice night.
Thank you so much for having me, Anastasia. It was
Thanks,
such a
Anastasia.
pleasure and such a privilege to host with you. I had the best time. So thank you, Cozy, Daniel, Baby Doll Bliss, Ray, Octavia, Michaela, Scooter, and anyone else that I'm forgetting for coming. Y'all are the real ones, and thank you. Like, and follow me for more updates. Like, beginning of next month, I think I should start getting in the groove of doing my own spaces. So yeah, keep a lookout for the announcement.
All right, good night, guys. Have a nice night.
Good night.
Nice.
Right, so that's gonna be it for the space that I hosted on Beyonce's Lemonade album. And yeah, with the anniversary of it coming up, I was just like, this would be a really fitting idea. And so yeah, this is one of my most fun Twitter spaces that I've done yet. I really appreciated everybody who came and contributed to the discussion, and it was just really interesting to hear everyone's points of view once again. Shout out to Jay for always co-hosting me. I really appreciate him, of course. I probably mentioned this somewhere in the video, but Michaela does her own spaces, and recently she uploaded the one that we did on butterfly and rainbow, so definitely go check that out. I'll probably have it in the cards right here. I'll have it linked down below in the description as well, but go subscribe to her channel. But I appreciate her and everyone who came on the space so much. It was a great time. And so you already know the drill. If you want to participate in more Twitter spaces that I do in the future, follow me on Twitter at the Anastasia25, and on there I announce whenever I'm doing these things, and I usually announce them on my community tab as well. If you hit set reminder, it'll let you know when the space is happening. If you hit see details, it'll tell you what time it's happening in your time zone and everything. But yeah, really fun discussion. Also, I have more videos I've done on Beyonce Beyonce. I'll have them in the screen right here. It'll be at the end of the video and link down below in the description. But that's going to be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, give it a like down below. It helps you online. Use algorithm. I very much appreciate it. You can also subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Hit the bell so you not miss when I post brand new videos on here. I'm also going to have my second channel be the first link down below in the description, and then I will have my Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, and TikTok if you guys want to follow me on there. A link to stream this album. Again, I would highly recommend it, and links to educate you guys on important situations. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.